Hi, this is Faith, and you are watching The Faith Factor. Holla. What's up? What's up? This is Faith, and you are watching The Faith Factor. And today I just had to poke my head in, do a little impromptu video because we got to pump the brakes real quick. You know, this whole thing with Pearly Things done opened up a whole Black sector YouTube civil war. I mean, you all are not holding back any punches either. I mean, people that I thought was tight, people that I thought was going to be boom coon buddies forever, y'all motherfuckers going at each other's throat. Y'all out here in the YouTube streets looking crazy. Oh, you got looking so crazy right now. Pearly got y'all looking so crazy. And I'm just like, how does one white chick come in here with her colonial mindset ass and just start stirring up trouble amongst all the Black folk? How do we let this happen every time? And you know what? When she came on the scene, I said to myself, she is going to cause all kinds of rifts between different folks, because it's going to be some people that's the true house niggas, the house nigga network. They band together, get their little network going. They got the banjo playing. They cannot wait to dance for massa. You got that, and then you had the house niggas. They were doing content with the field niggas, and I knew eventually this thing with Pearly Things was going to drive a rift, and it was going to weed out who the house niggas are and who the field niggas are. I knew this shit was going to happen. And I'm just, the banjo is playing as I pop my popcorn, get my phone, tablet, or laptop, and I tune in to the fuckery. Y'all, you know, this has been very entertaining. And I am so here for it. You hear me? I don't give a damn. I am here for it, because this right here is exposing a lot of people getting exposed. Now, see, if I had said that these people was this way, I would have got cussed out, kicked off panels, booted out chat rooms. What else y'all do to me? Y'all tan me out a million times. Boy, I tell you, but I didn't even have to do nothing. Look at God. Just look at God. What's up, AP from the Bronx in the house? I ain't seen you in a while, sis. Where you been? Oh, you said I'm mute? Hold on. Let me know if y'all can hear me. I got to do something with my settings here. Hold on. Can you hear me? I still mute. I took my microphone out. I don't know why it's going on mute. You know what? I think my Bluetooth might be interfering. Oh, Mahogany says she can hear. Hold on. I put my microphone back in. I'm going to take my Bluetooth and put it on charger. I think maybe my Bluetooth Oh, you said I was good? Hold on. So I'm not good now? Is that what you're saying? Lord have mercy. Every time I try to get deep into this, here come my audio issue. God, I did not do this, okay? I didn't do this. Why am I being punished, okay? I just man's my own business over here. Why am I being punished? Okay, thank you. Oh, AP said that they tried to mute me. Okay, I gotta get y'all know I'm old and I don't know the language. Y'all got to explain things to me. But thanks for clearing that up. Thanks for clearing that up. Yes, look at God. Look at God. Everybody is being outed. And I think this is good. This is such a good thing, y'all. So, first things first, because I've been seeing a lot of stuff, and the stuff is going so fast. It's like every day, every second, every minute, every hour, every night. Some new receipts are being dropped in various live streams. I mean, I can't be everywhere. I try to be like God and be everywhere in Black YouTube, but I can't be everywhere. I have to watch some stuff on the replay. Take some time. So I was eavesdropping on a few live streams, a few Manosphere live streams, and the Manosphere live streams are the funniest and most entertaining. Now they'll tell y'all to go on about your business, go on about your business. Y'all ain't if y'all don't like it, get the hell out of here. But I'm sorry, fellas. I'm sorry. Y'all is out here looking crazy. And the divestors too. And the women who supported the Manosphere. Y'all looking the craziest of them all. Those of you who sat there and was like, oh, Kevin Samuels was right. You bitches need to lose some weight and be more fit, feminine, and friendly. Oh, you bitches got to learn how to be ladies. Now, I said the same shit too, but not to the point where I am going to use Manosphere talking points to back what I'm saying. I ain't never used no Kevin Samuels or no Manosphere talking points. When I say what I say what I say woman to woman. Like, this is what you need to do as women. Fuck what these niggas talking about. This is what I'm saying. But now, you got women on here. Whew. Lord, Lord, Lord. Yes, Mahogany. Won't he do it? Won't he do it? You got women on here that are set up here and said, you know what? The men how can I say, labeling you or rating you, the rating system, they agree with the rating system. They come in, look at me, I'm a 10, I'm a dime. This is the reason why I can talk and tell you things. You little peon, get on my level. You is ugly. You not a dime. You need to be like me. Who is some women on here that done sat up here and just dragged other women in the name of being part of the Manosphere Boys Club? Can I get an amen? Can I get a hallelujah? And look at God. They turning on y'all. They turning on y'all, not for no money. No, Lord, they not turning on you for the money. Mm-mm. No, didn't nobody give them no money. Didn't nobody offer them no fame? No, Lord, they ain't got no fame. Mm-mm. Whew. They ain't got nothing but a white woman. You can't make this shit up. They didn't turn on you for money. They didn't turn on you for fame. They didn't turn on you for power. They turned on you on the word of a white woman. And y'all sat there and regurgitated their talking points back to other women. Q Savage says, women don't like women. Looks like the men are showing their colors. Precisely. They are. And, I didn't even listen to Danica Marie. I didn't listen to Six the Goddess. I only heard of them because their name has been circulating everywhere. Everybody's talking about these two. So that prompted me to go and check out some of their videos. It's like, before I go and talk about somebody, I don't want to just talk about people and not know what they about. No, I'm saying I don't do that. Nope, don't do that. So I went and checked, did a little binge watching some of the content that I could go back to, as far as like when they first came out, as far as I can go. Then I go to a few videos up and up and up until the present, because I like to see the evolution of the person, and I look at the most interesting topics. So I did a binge watch on Danica. I did a binge watch on Six the Goddess. I'm subscribed to both of them. They have some pretty good content. Like I said, I'm also subscribed to Chantel Simone, and she has pretty good content. I don't agree with everything that these ladies say, but they do say a whole lot of things that are right. But then I go to the manosphere spaces, and these are the men that they take up for. These are the men that these women back up. If they're not taking up for them, they're backing them up. See, there's two types of manosphere women. It's the ones that are outright back them up and take up for them, and then you got the ones that's a little more subtle. You got the ones that's a little bit more subtle than that, where they won't outright take up for them, but they'll back up a lot of shit that they say. But they still on their team. And these women have been on y'all team. Sister George, Concrete Rose, they're women of the manosphere. That's where they got their start. Jessica X, that's where they got their start. And they backed y'all up. And then here come this white woman. She didn't give you no riches. She didn't give you no power. She didn't even give you reparations. She didn't even say, hey, you know what? Sorry about that. I got to put my stuff on Do Not Disturb. Normally, my phone go on Do Not Disturb by itself. I'm surprised it didn't do it that time. I know Mahogany. Mahogany says, I'm good with Danica and Six the Goddess. I just want everybody to understand that the opinions and thoughts on the Faith Factor channel is not necessarily the opinions and thoughts of the viewers in her audience. See, I have independent thinkers in my audience. So I don't have a problem with this not being an echo chamber. Don't have a problem with it. Okay? So I'm just going to put out that disclaimer. But I will say this. The chickens have definitely come home to roost. And let me also point out, because you said Crimson Cure and Chantel are the ones that's most annoying to you, Mahogany. Let me tell you, they are annoying. All of them are annoying to me. I'm just going to be honest. They all annoying to me because they all back up manosphere talking points. And it's not to the point where they're trying to make women better, but they're attack dogs for these men. So basically, these men use a light-skinned woman with a small waist and say, okay, this is what we're able to get to represent us. And these women are happily running over there to do just that. Happily. But soon as a piece of white skin, see, this is what I'm saying. White skin is something about white skin that will change something so fast. And you thought that you had an understanding with your black man. You thought that you and your black man had an understanding. And then Becky with the good hair comes and she shows you exactly where you stand. Ooh, what's up, Sheila E, the quiet storm in the house? Hello, sis. Long time no see. Becky with the good hair. Becky with the good hair will come and show you exactly where you stand with these compromised Negroes. See, what I want black women to understand is that you all got to stop getting in bed with these compromised Negroes. You all got to stop thinking that all you got to do, okay, well, he said that black women, all we got to do is be a size 6, be fit. We got to be feminine. We got to be friendly. We got to be submissive. That's all we got to do. How come these bitches don't listen? Y'all don't listen. The men are telling you what they want. And I'm here to tell you, they full of shit. They've been full of shit. Because as soon as white skin comes into the picture, that's all these niggas need to do an about face. So Danica and Six the Goddess and Crimson Cure and Chantel and Sister George and Concrete Rose and all the women that was in the manosphere that were backing these men up, had their back, they hit their panels. Even some of them hit their panels and they were roasted and talked about for being single mothers and everything else on the panel. And they still back these men and help them in their content. And this is the thanks they all got. Soon as white skin came into the picture. Now, mind you, they were already throwing y'all under the bus for an avatar. So y'all was being thrown under the bus for less than white skin even before this happened. And I would have thought that when the Jessica X gate happened and y'all saw how these Negroes was acting, that y'all would have got the picture. No, more of you came and more of you started to back up their talking points. Like, and telling black women, this all you gotta do. See, this all you gotta do. Well, you see what they do for you as soon as white skin comes? You see what they do? They turned around and dropped y'all like a hot potato. Now, Danica, they talking about her teeth. They talking about she's shark mouth and she ain't all that cute and all this other stuff. Oh, they turning around and they trying to diminish these women. And mind you, these are very beautiful black women. Nothing wrong with those women at all whatsoever. Exactly. AP says nobody is roasting alabaster things about being single. Please, pasty things can be single and they will package her up in a bowl in front of you and have her as the picture of feminism and have her 26-year-old inexperienced behind trying to tell you how to get a man and get married. That's what they want to do. Danica's married. Concrete Rose and Sister George is married. Now, Chantel, Crimson Cure, Six the Goddess, they're not married. But, maybe they could talk about single woman stuff, I don't know. But I think that the women who have actually done it should be the ones that they hoist up. But see, they're not going to hoist up Sister George and Concrete Rose because they don't look the part. Okay, they're not going to do that. But they'll support them, for just so as long as they keep, promoting their talking points. As long as they say nothing when they roast them about their weight, they'll deal with them. And they'll support Danica long as she stays, in land. But she got out of land because she, backed up Six the Goddess, who they bought out a lot of stuff about her past. Exactly. When it comes to us, they keep moving the goalpost. Notice that. But these women in the manosphere, they act oblivious to that shit. But now here come their nigga wake up call. Or their, mammy wake up call. That's the only thing I can call it. The mammy wake up call. Here come their mammy wake up call. These niggas been thinking this about you. They did not value you. Soon as white skin come, and white skin ain't even got to be pretty. She ain't got to be pretty. She ain't got to be a size 6. She don't got to be married. She don't have to be any other things that they are saying you gotta be. You gotta be perfect, but not white skin. But let me get down to, because I think they did Six the Goddess wrong personally. Now, I am not one that's a proponent of do as I say, not as I do. I hate that men can be the worst of the worst. They can have the worst of the worst past. And we are quick to forgive their past. Men and women alike. We'll make excuses for a man with a sketchy past, won't we? Oh, I know he messed around with a few underage girls. R. Kelly, shall we? Oh, didn't we make excuses for R. Kelly? Oh, he may have messed around with a few underage girls, but them girls was fast. Them girls knew what they was doing. Oh, we are so forgiving of men when they have sketchy pasts. AP said the chicken head wake up call. You know what? Stop, please. Oh my goodness. I saw that and I had to chuckle a little bit. But back to the sketchy past. We are so forgiving of these men and their sketchy past, aren't we? I've seen men on YouTube that have gotten caught up in some real sketchy stuff. And the men form together like Voltron, don't they? To defend them. But let a woman had been a stripper before. She never lived it down. Let a woman had been on OnlyFans before. She'll never live it down. Let a woman had did a little something strange for some change. It don't matter how long ago it was. Like some of this stuff that these guys, we find out these men are doing, they was doing it up until they got caught. And these men to come on here and defend. But now we talking about Six the Goddess got a past. Past. P-A-S-T. Not current. Not something as of recent. She got a past. And these niggas dragging her through the mud. I have been on so many panels where I hear Six the Goddess name and these niggas dragging her name through the mud because of a past. Now, mind you, what was his name? That male YouTuber that got caught up with his wife's daughter, Brother Polite. It was so many black men defending this man. And this was something that he got caught up with up until when he got caught. He was doing this shit in the prison and they were defending him. But this sister got a past. Like we talking many years ago. Something that she grew from. You know, Tanya Sweat says, hey, everybody. Hey, Tanya. Thank you so much for sticking your head in and showing some love. But we talking many years ago, not up to now, not up to the current. And niggas want to make a thing out of it. But whereas before, when she was defending your talking points, whereas before, when she was on code with y'all didn't seem to mind her having a past. But now that she done kind of deflected away from y'all because y'all some bootlicking coons that want to sit up here and hoist a white supremacist up on a pedestal. Now all of a sudden, Six the Goddess a hoe. And now y'all see that she is a hoe. And now y'all see that she had a past. And now y'all see that she shouldn't be teaching women how to be ladies if she have a sketchy past like that. Now all of a sudden, y'all see what was already there. What y'all motherfuckers probably already saw, but you ignored it. What's up, Doug? Let me read what Doug has to say. Doug used to usually say some good stuff. What's up, Dougie Doug? Doug says, not because of her past, it's because of the Burley, the Snow King. Six past wasn't an issue a week ago. Hey, at Faith and Chat. Exactly. he called Pearly Things Burley the Snow King. That's what I'm saying. Like, they are defending this white woman so much that a person that had been there in their corner, a person that had been, siding with them, regurgitating their talking points and pretty much trying to get the women on code, y'all completely turn y'all back on her because of white skin. So let me get this straight. Which one of you don't have a past? Because see, I've been on YouTube long enough to find out everybody got a past. Everybody got something that they did back when they was young. And they got through that. They grew as an individual. And now they're here to tell people about it and to set them straight. See, a lot of times you can't tell somebody how to get through something that they're going through unless you have gone through it yourself. At least that's been my experience. Unless you have been a mother who has lost a child, you can't get on YouTube and create a channel dedicated to mothers who have lost children. Unless you have been a man who was the victim of gang violence and you told the story of how you got to overcome being part of a gang and getting out of that system. You cannot create a YouTube channel and be Billy Bob from the suburbs talking about how to overcome and get out of a gang if you've never been there. So that's the reason why I say y'all disingenuous. Everybody has gone through something, and I pray to God that if they're on here on YouTube preaching to other people, they came out of it and they grew as an individual. Doug says her past was already known. I don't see why it should be an issue now. I don't either. I don't have an issue with any of the ladies that I'm speaking of. Like I said, I'm subscribed now to Six the Goddess and Danica. Like I said, they say some stuff that I like and some stuff, I don't agree with. But, that's my prerogative. I don't have to be an echo chamber on everybody's channel. Faith have always stood alone and done her own thing. What's up, Juju? Juju's in the house. But now, if it's a different thing, if you are still really doing these things, and now you coming on here telling people something different because it's just a grift. And there are a lot of grifters in the space. There's a lot of panda bears in the space. Not a few, a lot. And this is the reason why I always tell the people that listens to the sound of my voice, be your own man, be your own woman. At the end of the day, should no man tell you what your standard of beauty is? Should no man be able to tell another man anything about what it is that he likes? If you're your own man, you choose what you like. Now, that brings me to Mr. Fantastic. Now, I've had a history with this guy. I despise this guy's very existence. The fact that he breathes bother me. But at any rate, I am going to say this about him. At least when all these other guys are going around touting, I like a woman wearing a size 6 and this, that, and the other, he always maintains, I like a BBW, and he don't care what nobody think of that. So I'll give that to him. But with that said, that nigga crazy. I was looking at Baller X, and he put out a video this morning. And Mr. Fantastic was up there with Jessica X. And we all know that back when Jessica X was hot, when Jessica X was popping, Who was the main person? Every time you saw Jessica X, you saw this nigga. Every time you saw Jessica X, there was Mr. Fantastic next to Jessica X defending everything she said and keeping niggas off of her. And going on and on and on about how she belonged in the manosphere. So I was confused when Baller X dropped his video today. Well, I don't know if it was today or yesterday, but I just saw it today. And Jessica comes on the panel because she heard her name being, spoke about. And Fantastic, there was some dude up there, and Fantastic was getting on this dude for flirting with an avatar. He was like, how do you fall in love with an avatar? You can't make this shit up. This is Fantastic. The same person that followed the avatar everywhere she went, defending her, defending everything that came from her mouth. This is the same person. And it was pretty obvious that he was infatuated with her. It was obvious. Everybody could see it. This is the same person that's getting in somebody else's ass about flirting with an avatar. But you did more than flirt. You did more than flirt, Fantastic. Fantastic, you did the most egregious of things with the avatar. You defended her, said she was part of the manosphere and everything, that she belonged there. Who are you to get on anybody that want to talk to this woman after you had been licking up behind her for many, many, many years? Well, not many years, but you know what I'm saying. A year or 2 years or however long it was. And I said to myself, damn, Pearly Things got y'all looking crazy. Pearly Things got y'all out here just completely being hypocritical. Just outright hypocritical. Outright hypocrisy. Mm-mm-mm. So I looked at that and I just shook my head. I looked at that and I just shook my head. And by the way, this is the same man that was voted the most ugly man in this space. And he always has something to say about somebody's looks. It's always the ones. I think oh my God, Danica had me crying laughing. Her and Six the Goddess had me crying laughing. They called him Peppy the Frog. And then they put the picture of Peppy the Frog next to his. And I said, God damn, he do look like that thing. He do look like that thing. What's up, Cassandra? And there's the other double standard. Men believe that they can be just as ugly as they want to be, and they should have carte blanche to talk about women being ugly. They can be as fat as they want to be. They can be as fat as they want to be. And they got the carte blanche to talk about a woman weight. You can't make this shit up. You cannot make any of this shit up. I see a man big as Biggie, blacker than Biggie, uglier than Biggie. And he's sitting up there calling a woman fat. First, pull in your waistline before you seek to snatch somebody else's waistline? How about we do that? First, pull in your waistline before you seek to snatch the next person's waistline. And then I see ugly men that face look like scrambled eggs. And they're online calling women ugly. First, pick up the pieces of your broken mirror before you go to try to fix the pieces of somebody else's broken mirror, ugly boy. Like, what is wrong with these people? Do these people not have mirrors? And it's mostly men. It's mostly men that do this. I don't really see the women doing this to men. Now, on the flip side, though, I do see the women doing this to other women. What's up, Can't Hide in the House? Thank you so much for catching the laugh. Tanya Sweat says, the nerve of the genetic challenge to talk about anyone. The nerve, Miss Faith. Exactly. And here's the thing. Most people are average. Most people are average. There are not very many people that stand out as being, oh God, like they stop traffic beautiful. Like if you saw just their face, they would stop traffic. There are very few people that are like that. Most people are average. And then after that, most people are ugly. Very few people are what you call drop dead gorgeous and beautiful. So you can't be walking around here with your ugly and average ass critiquing everybody else. Right, Juju, not the genetic challenge. The genetically challenged, the bland, talking about the bland. And we as women, well, those women, Danica, Six the Goddess, Sister George, Concrete Rose, Crimson Cure, who else was it? That girl, Chantel Simone. They turn a blind eye. The problem that I have with these women, all of them, is that they tend to turn a blind eye to when manosphere men are doing this to other women. And so then this is where I see women attacking other women on their looks the same way that the men have. Ooh, I just went and got all my teeth is did. I got my surgeries. I got my BBL and my implants. I'm set. Let me talk about you bitches. And these heifers will go off to the races. These niggas done put a battery in their back so that they can go off on the next female. And this is their warped idea of women competing for them, by the way. When they tell you compete, this is what they want to see. They want to see women at other women's throats about some nonsense. Thank you at AP. Thank you so much for the compliment. Tanya Sweat says, that's a word. Why aren't any other Shamar Moore types in the manosphere? Because they don't need to be. Another thing that Fantastic says is that he prefers BBW, and he's adamant about it. He says that his woman gotta have an ass. Six the Goddess and Danica ain't got enough ass for him. They ain't all that great looking to him. They are right, according to the man voted the most ugliest man in the sector. They are right. But I want to introduce something else. Here's another thought. Because anytime somebody say stuff like that and they're going towards a certain demographic of women that may have a portion of low self-esteem because of their size, could it be that all he can pull is the biggins? Now, I'm not saying that it's true, but that could very well be the case, given the fact that he is facially challenged. He is definitely facially challenged. So could it be that this man that says that he like them BBW can only get them BBW? See, this is the critical thinking that I would love to see more of in these comment sections. Well, you did come back from deployment a little bit chunkier and uglier than before. Could it be that the only thing that's checking for you is the BBW? Not saying that there's anything wrong with BBW, but there's nothing wrong with a woman that isn't BBW. Oh, hey, what's up, Woman Sphere, the original Woman Sphere in the house. Hey, sis, let me read what Woman Sphere says. She always says some really good stuff. She says, not one woman has held back on me in this space. So I know for sure I'm going to say what I want. But afternoon, yes, hell yes. Now, I will say, ain't not nan woman held back on Woman Sphere in this space, period. Every time there have been times when Woman Sphere have tried to come to the aid of a woman and got attacked. And I've seen that for myself in real time. Woman Sphere was getting ready to check me about a chick one time on my panel and got attacked. So I know she ain't lying. She ain't lying when she say that. She also says big women are beautiful and a lot of men prefer them because they never seem to be single. Yeah, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with big women, but for the sake of fantastic, because he's putting down another demographic of women to say that they ain't got enough ass. And I'm saying that all women are beautiful in every shape, every size. The only thing that I would advise is that you do not want the belly fat. I got a little pudge, a little pouch that I'm getting rid of, and thank God it's finally going down. I'm posting pictures for you guys. Hold on, let me see. Do I got some pictures that I can upload? But I've been on my diet, y'all, and I lost about 5 inches around my waist and my belly, and I hadn't really even been exercising. I just changed what I ate. So the hip, the booty, the thighs, perfectly fine. But the zero fat is the killer. Death starts in your gut. And you having that pooch, that pouch, that is your body's way of telling you that you need to tend to your liver and your kidneys. When you see that fat coming in your belly, you have a fatty liver, and that causes a lot of problems down the line. High blood pressure, diabetes, stroke, heart attack. That's where it starts, with a fatty liver. And with that fat going around your organs, you can have it everywhere else but in your tummy. These men know they be lying, saying 6 to God isn't cute. I didn't see anything wrong with either of these women. Even if Danica took her money and fixed her teeth, so did Cardi B. These niggas don't have no problem with a non-black woman that used to have fucked up teeth coming back in our face saying shit. Don't nobody say nothing about Cardi B and her damn fucked up ass teeth. And that shit was fucked up, okay? So I mean, hell, if a woman has some messed up teeth and she had the presence of mind to get it fixed, more power to her. Hey, D Rail. What's up, D? D Rail is doing a lot of dating coaching content on his channel. So please make sure that you check him out. But yeah, they just looking crazy. And so I came on here just to point out some things, some inaccuracies, some hypocrisies that I've been seeing. And last but not least, I cannot get out of here without talking about this Crystal Carrison and David Carroll situation. This Crystal Carroll and this Crystal Carrison and David Carroll situation has got the manosphere on 10. Just this morning, I was at Obsidian's channel because I saw the pink pill in the title. Normally, I wouldn't be bothered with no damn coon channel, but I went over there for shits and giggles. And lo and behold, here he got David Carroll, Crystal Carrison, picture in the thumbnail. The pink pill has been colluding with David Carroll. Now she came out and she broke the story on her own that back in the day, from 2014 until about 2022 or 21 or whatever before he passed, Crystal Carrison and David Carroll had been kind of sexting each other. And she broke that story on her own. And I'm going to give you my thoughts on that. I'm going to give you my thoughts on this because I heard her side of the story and I heard Obsidian give his side of the story. It was hilarious. I will say Obsidian puts on a show. He's very good at putting on a show with his compromised Negro ass. But he can put on a show. This is not the first time that Crystal Carrison has been outed for talking divestment, but sneaking black. This is not the first time. So I'm not surprised at this. 2014. Oh, hold on a second. I'm missing some super chats here. Hold on a second. Oh, shout out to Coach D. Darrell. Thank you for the $10 super chat. I really appreciate it. He says, appreciate that, sis. No problem. Anytime. All right. So let me go ahead and go to my branding because I'm going to go ahead and give my boy his round of applause. I always appreciate when people donate for the cause. Thank you. Thank you so much. And let me go in with Doug with the $5 holla. Thank you so much. Let me go ahead and give you also your respect and round of applause because once again, any donation it all helps. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. So let me tell you guys, if she was sexting with David Carroll, and I read some of the stuff, and it looked like she was kind of, sometimes she was the aggressor and sometimes he was the aggressor. I read some of the stuff. Some people talking about they still got on their panties, and it was getting kind of, yeah, anyway. The problem that I have with this is that during 2014, Crystal Carrison was still married to her white husband while she was doing footsie in the DM with David Carroll. And I remember that at that particular point in time, the message was get out of Blackistan. Get out of Blackistan. Leave Blackistan alone. Black women, get out of your comfort zone. You're going to have to learn to get out of your comfort zone and leave Blackistan. Open up your options. That's what I remember hearing. And I heard it so much. And I started seeing so many black men fucking up that even I began to say, hey, I got to be on the fence with this, because on the one hand, I want to see black love and I want to see black families, but y'all black men is really fucking up. But all the time, she was talking about getting out of Blackistan. She didn't get out of Blackistan. She didn't get out of Blackistan. What? Wait. So you mean to tell me all this time you had women walking around here with a dry vagina in pink pill rage, and your ass never left Blackistan? Is this what I'm hearing? Is this what you're telling us? Is this what you revealed to us? Since 2014? We could have all been getting some dick on the side. Wow. Well, I'll be damned. Well, I'll be damnedy damn. Say it ain't so, Crystal. Say it ain't so. And so this is why you being clowned. This is why the divestors are clowning you, rightfully so. You deserve every bit of this clowning. This is why the manosphere is clowning you, rightfully so. You deserve every bit of this clowning. Because I'm going to be honest with you. You waited all this time before you came forward with this information. David Carroll been dead over a year. Well over a year. This man has been gone. Why now? I got a theory. I think that somebody else might have gotten wind of this. I think that somebody else who might not be a friend of yours anymore might have gotten wind of this. Because a lot of y'all knew each other's secrets. And if you kept messing with them, they were going to let it out. Women's Sphere says, because David Carroll can't say anything back. That's why. Well, even though she outed it herself, it still makes her look bad. She's still going to get that spanking. She's still going to get that spanking. Well deserved. Because you were telling women to do what you could not do yourself. And that's the reason why I want these women to stop getting on here lying to other women. Stop lying. You can lie to me, you can lie to your audience, you can even lie to yourself, but you are not going to lie to biology. A heterosexual woman is going to want to be with a heterosexual man and vice versa. You're telling these women to go and get these white men. Very few, even black men, very few of them are able to date out. That's the reason why most people, white, black, Hispanic, Asian, most people mate with their own. That's the reason why, because very few people are able to date out. So you're making it seem like it's easy, but that is something that has to be a process that comes naturally, not something that you manufacture. So you were married to your white husband while you were doing the DM Fussy with David Carroll. And could this be why you're divorced now? Because I remember you coming on years ago and you were saying that your husband had an issue with you being online ever since your children got doxxed and you couldn't stop coming on here. What if there was something that your white husband saw and he just said, nah, she's still dibbling and dabbling back there. She's not really the girl who swirls. Because he might have been comfortable in the fact that you're the girl that swirls and that this is your content. But if he finds out that you are in fact a fraud, a charlatan, a liar, a hypocrite, that might fuck with a man's ego a little bit or a lot of bit. Woman Sphere says, let me get your comment up here, sis. She says that's why he divorced her. People never talk about how he is the one who fouled. I remember that he was the one that fouled. I remember her divulging that. She said it pretty fast. You know, if you had a, looked over to the side or blinked a little bit, you would have missed it. But I remember her saying that. Woman Sphere, I remember. Reaction Satisfaction, aka Commendable K, is in the house. He says Crystalline Carrison was basically saying, do as I say, not what I do, with David Carroll. Exactly. Exactly. So none of this is news to me. Might be news to some of y'all, but she was out it for this once before. Just like when I found out that Michi X and Tommy Sotomayor had met up for a booty call at one time. I was like, wait a minute. What? Man, all these motherfuckers is running around here, playing dick and pussy games. This whole gender war has been manufactured by the very people who are fucking each other when they log off YouTube. And these are facts. You can't say these are not facts. These are facts. Fact. Goodness, I got a bad lisp. I can't get my C's and my T's to connect correctly. But I wonder if I should. I'm going to do something I haven't done in a long time. You think that I should post the link today? Should I drop the link down here? Reaction Satisfaction says the real girls who swirl are women in Indianapolis who get together to learn about wine. Divestment was and is a way to manipulate Black women, not liberate and attack them. Exactly. Exactly. AP says yes. I mean, I'm sorry, not AP. Mahogany Root says yes. AP AP got the frowny face up. She's like, no. I'm gonna go ahead and share the link. I'm gonna share the link. Y'all don't make me regret this. But there it is. Ooh, hold on, Robert Benjamin. Thank you for the $20 super chat. Shaka laka 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 laka. Thank you so much, brother. Let me go ahead and show you your love for the support. He gave $20, so let me go ahead get my crew. And I'm gonna go ahead and throw in a little extra. You're gonna get the happy man dance. Hey, thank you, thank you. Oh, Mahogany Roots, thank you so much. She said, drop the link for the people. The link has been dropped. I'm gonna go ahead and see if I can pin it to the top. If I have a moderator down there, if you can hit the 3, because I don't think I can do it. Let me see if I can pin it. No, I can't. So my moderators, here's the link for anybody that wants to come up. If you have anything that you want to say on what I just talked about here, please pin this to the top of the chat. You can hit the 3 dots and pin the link to the top. And that way the link will always be at the top if anybody has anything that they want to say about any of the things that was discussed today. You can do so, but the link is in the chat room. Thank you so much. Yes, I worked hard on this, sis. I did. I worked real hard. Me and the StreamYard gods got together. But yeah, you know, going back to the whole Crystal and Kerrison situation, only thing that I can say on that is this is probably the reason why her husband left, because she was doing things like this. You cannot be double-minded and then try to come before the people as if you are one mind. Eventually, what is done in the dark will come to the light. And see, like I said, this has happened to her several times. She's been outed already. Already she's been outed. All right, I have Purpose Drive in the back. Let me go ahead and add you to the stream. What's up? Welcome.
It's me, Woman Sphere.
Oh, okay. Hold on. You had a different name. What's up, girl?
They give you all these options now. When I was just back there, it's something new. You get to add a headliner. It's something else back there too.
Oh, really? I gotta check this out.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask you, how you be doing the little round of applause and stuff like that. People super touchy.
You know what? They have it now on StreamYard where you can download memes. So I get a lot of my stuff from memes that I download.
Oh, okay. I gotta check my StreamYard out just to see like all the options and stuff on there, because I just get the highest one and then I don't do nothing with it, with what I'm paying for. But anyway, to stick to your topic, I just actually did a video, remove your emotions and stick to facts, and I think that that's one of the biggest lessons I learned with everything, is to just stick to facts. Because if you become like stuck on somebody's talking points and then you see something else, it could be like real disappointing. Like, well, what about what happened to? So I think it's important for us to stick to facts. And the facts of Crystal and Kerrison have always been there. They have always been there. It has been story after story. Angel Ramirez was the first I heard. That was the
I
first time I
heard.
heard.
I heard that too.
Yes. And, with all of that smoke that was coming off of that, because it was how emotional she would get whenever he would show up. She would cry, she would throw these tantrums, and then a big old outburst on Bomb Cherry's channel a little while back. And it was just a lot, him showing all these scantily clad photos she sent him, and they were supposed to have met up in New York and all this stuff. You know what I mean? I really think the only reason why she said anything now is because the man is deceased. He can't give a rebuttal. He can't show what he may have. Because I'm pretty sure probably has something that can counter what she says. I know that man was not silly enough to be texting and sexting with Crystalline and not saving stuff and doing all that. He probably got a whole hard drive or whatever it is that she sent.
You
I
know
just,
what? You're right. Because
mm-hmm,
the thing about it is, I think that somebody else knew about it too. I think that she outed it because somebody else knew about it and they probably threatened to put it out there.
mm-hmm.
So she put out there as much as she wanted to put out there. But you're right, he probably have a lot more egregious stuff
Yeah.
out there about her.
Because she dumbed down the Angel Ramirez situation for a while. Angel didn't even want to say nothing. He eventually came out because she was going around saying, "Oh, well, we just stopped our friendship. I decided to stop talking to him. She was saying his content didn't align with her brand." Is what she was saying. She was like, his content and the things he's saying doesn't align with my brand. So I decided to cut ties. And she said that for a while before Angel came out, like, no, this is actually what happened. So she has that. She has Angel, she has David, and she has Minister Jack.
Minister Jack, what?
Yes. And Minister Jack been everywhere defending her with this David Carroll stuff. Talking about how, well, we talk and we kick it, you know what I'm saying? Like trying to defend it. So you may be onto something, saying somebody knew something, or maybe, threaten to say something, because Minister Jap is the one that gathered the information about that dude that was doxing her daughter. He was the one that stepped in and protected her. So yeah. So yeah, she definitely has like a track record of getting involved with men that don't have the same, well, don't represent her brand. I'll say that.
Well, let me ask you this. What do you think this says about her being the woman that swirls, telling black women? Remember how she was get out of Blackistan and you need to get out your comfort zone. And, you know,
It's important for women to pay attention to people's stories. And I say that all the time on my channel. I'll be like, one of the reasons why I'm transparent is because I can't sit in front of you and tell you what I know about men and experiences and situations. It's a reason why I know these things. I done been through some stuff. This is why I know. I think black women feel like black women content creators who are telling them to upgrade their lives and all of this stuff, they don't have to share too much and cares. And that is her husband is the first white man that she ever dated. She put him through college. She took care of him for years because he was unemployed and he was a student, and she was paying for him to go to school. The reason why she ended up with him is because she was left a single mother by a black man in college. So it's a lot to her story. It's a lot to the fact that she was not happy in her marriage at all. This is why she would have these meltdowns. They call her drunk peel in the divested community. That's what they call her, drunk peel. She would have these meltdowns, and all of this is because she was not happy in her marriage to this white man at all. This white man essentially used her, divorced her, and moved on. And this is why I say it's important for black women to get the truth out of women as to why they are saying the things that they are saying. Because a lot of black women are just dealing. They're dealing with the situation. They're dealing with the abuse in their relationships. They're dealing with the toxicity. And then they come online and they talk at you instead of talking to you. And unfortunately, there are a lot of women, Faith, who really They're buying the pink pill course. They're trying to change their life around based off of these women, and these women aren't doing anything that they say they are doing. And this can be highly toxic for people that go around deifying people. You get what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, I get it. And speaking of doing what you saying things and not doing it, not living it, walking that walk, she used to always tell women not to build a man.
Mm-hmm.
So you mean to tell me that she built this white man?
Yes. She put
And
him
when
through
he and
college.
she put him through college, helped him get where he is, and when he got on, he left her ass for a white girl.
Yep.
Mm, mm, mm.
And I think, but I'm gonna tell you something. The demise of that marriage was more so about it affecting her brain. I think that's where the meltdowns was coming from, because how can you teach all of these classes? It's just the irony. You know what I mean? It's like, man, you tell God your plans and he'll show laugh with you because it ain't going to be what you think it is. And what it ended up happening is she built her whole life around being married to a white man, around being married to a white man, and that white man just divorced her. So I think the spiraling out of control, the receiving attention from other men, the being flirty and all that with all these men online, if she's being flirty with men online, trust me, there's some people in real life that's tapping that. Make no mistakes about it.
Yep, absolutely. And we see that in full color right now. But
Hmm.
there was now it was Angel Ramirez, it was Minister Jap. I'm really surprised at Minister Jap. Didn't Minister Jap have a thing with Nyla too?
Yep.
So this is two women online that
And
he's
Sansa Ray. And Sansa Ray.
wow. See these
Hmm.
and he be sitting up there talking about black women this, black women that, the black hoe. I cannot believe this. Oh, he really talk about baby mamas.
Hmm. Yep.
Wow. This whole gender war is a hoax.
Hmm.
The same people that's sitting up here perpetuating these talking points for the gender war, they are logging off, they're in each other's DMs, and they are fucking.
Yep.
That's crazy.
Hmm. And then he
So
come to find out he with a white woman that's a single mother. So I don't know what makes a white woman being a single mother any different. I mean, so you're willing to raise or all white children, meanwhile you have no children, Minister Jeb. So it just all of it just don't make sense. It just people will be better off just telling the truth about things as opposed to feeding people lies. But I do know one thing Minister Jeb told me is that he felt like all of the men that support him is stupid. And I mean, I can't argue with that.
now when you calling your own supporters stupid, that should be the wake up call right there. That's crazy.
Hmm.
So now this whole thing, did you see? I want to switch off of Crystal and Carrison with you because I do want to get your thoughts on the whole Baller X put out a video. I think it was today. And there was Fantastic, there was Jessica X, there was Ramil on the panel. It was a whole panel full of folks. And one of the guys was up there and Mr. Fantastic was going off on the guy because he had been flirting with Jessica X and he was telling him, how could you fall in love with an avatar? How could you be this enamored over an avatar? This is the same man, Mr. Fantastic, that every time you saw Jessica X, you look around and he'll be right behind her.
Hmm. He probably was just jealous, but he isn't that what people were saying about him? What was it, like 2 years ago?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody was riding him for how he was financially supporting her and defending her and all of that stuff. So yeah, all of this stuff was said about him some years ago. You know
And
what I mean?
I bet you he never ever met her. He probably ain't don't even know what she looked like.
Yeah, I doubt it. I doubt it. I doubt that he does. I doubt that. I don't think that girl will ever be silly or goofy enough to slip up and do that with nobody.
No, I don't think so either. One
Mm,
thing I can say about Jessica, because I thought she was totally gone because when she first came out, boy, she was just regurgitating and supporting some real crazy manosphere talking points.
mhm,
But that day that they went on her channel and they got to talking about the age of consent, and these Negroes was on there trying to justify getting with little girls,
mhm,
that was the first time I saw Jessica not be the follower that I thought she was.
mhm.
So
I mean,
even she
she's
goes so far.
yeah, she stands her ground occasionally. She got dusted up there with Jason Black, but
Yeah.
she is stand her ground occasionally on the things that's important to her. You know what I mean? So but
But
yeah,
that's what really makes me think that she might be a single mother.
she might. You never know. These people, I admire these people that do a good job of protecting their identity. And you know what I mean? And that's one thing I do admire, because if I can do it all over again, I wouldn't give up too much of nothing. Not in this space. Not in
Mm,
this space.
I don't know. I mean, I admire the fact that people can be, you can be private and still, be who you are. But if you're not proud of who you are, then yeah, you're not going to cam up. You're not going to show the people who you are. But you ain't got to give them your real name, but at least put your face behind what you're saying. And I admire the people that have the strength enough to do that. So I'm a little bit different. I'm on the other end of that.
Yeah, it's just I don't feel like this space is so fickle. You know what I mean? It's so fickle, and it's how can I say it? There really is no end goal to all of this. You know what I mean? So it's what are you really gaining in this space of doing it? That's why I said if this was a different space, if this was the larger space of YouTube, then I understand that. But in this space is so, it's just like I said, there's no end goal. There's not. You know what I mean? It's just no end goal in it all. So I don't think a lot of people should have to risk, certain things. But if you are building a brand, some people have gotten successful by building a brand by not telling nobody who they are. And I respect the people who have been able to maintain their privacy all while building a brand. But it's different brands where I feel transparency should be incorporated. And if you are going to be talking to people about relationships and experiences, then some experiences need to be included. So in certain things, I feel like it should be. And then in some areas, I feel like it shouldn't be. So I guess you could say I'm split like 50-50.
Yeah, now see, that's where I'm with you on that. Now, on certain things, if you're going to come up here and you're going to be a woman talking to other women and telling them, hey, you got to be a size 6, you got to look like this, you got to look like that, like Jessica X was doing,
Mm-hmm.
you had better be a size 6. You had better be a dime. You
Mm-hmm.
had better be ready to turn your camera on and prove that you are all these things that you're putting on these women. Because if you're not willing to turn your camera on and prove that, then you need to shut up and be quiet.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the problem a lot of women were having with Jessica when she was coming into the space and regurgitating and pretty much standing up for these men and their talking points. She
Mm-hmm.
was not standing on her own shit because she wasn't willing to show herself as being approved.
Mm-hmm. I get what you're saying on that. I respect that, because she was the type that was on that fit, feminine, and friendly, and all of that mess. Yeah, she was that. So I get what you're saying on that. That's very highly critical, and that's critical in a way that can break a woman, because you're talking about her outer. You know what I mean? Appearance. You're not really discussing anything that can prepare her to a better stage of life. You're talking about her looks. So yeah, I get what you're saying on that. I understand that.
Yeah, and that's the main
Mm-hmm.
thing that women are judged on. And it's not fair because we have so many talented women that
Mm-hmm.
are so much beyond what they look like. But at the end of the day, that's what people are going to judge you on the most. You could be smart, you could be talented like Serena Williams.
Mm-hmm.
You could be all these things that's beyond what you look like. But at the end of the day, it's going to come down to, are you pretty and are you a size 6 and all this other stupid stuff. And
Mhm.
I think it's unfair. It's unfair. Just like I think the whole thing that they did with Six the Goddess, and I spoke on that too.
Mhm.
As far as her past, that's unfair. What these guys are doing to her, they're dragging her all over the place
What
because,
about her past?
well, she used to be. Well, she put it out there herself. She talked. These niggas knew about her past before all of this, but she talked about how she used to be a stripper and all this other stuff.
Mhm.
Extra stuff. And so
Mhm.
now these men are wiping her face with it, that she's a stripper and she used to sell her body.
Mhm. I
And
mean,
the
is
only
it because
reason
of
they're
the?
doing it, is because she went against them on the Pearl thing.
Oh, okay. I was just going to say that. Yeah, that's why. Yep, that's why they
Yeah,
liked
so
having a pretty little shiny mascot for as long as they could have it.
for as long as they can have it. And my thing is, why is it that these men can sit up here and they will defend black men with sketchy past that's not even a past, it's part of their present, like Brother Polite. There was I cannot tell you how many black men was defending this guy.
Mhm.
It was disgusting. This was not his past.
Mhm.
But then they want to sit up here and put Six the Goddess in the hot seat because she used to be a stripper. Make it
Yep,
make sense.
that's what they're gonna
Pet,
do. But they knew all that before. Come on, like they knew.
yeah, they knew. She told them. And they didn't have no problem with it as long as she was looking pretty, she was light skinned, and she could sit there and she could, be a weapon against black women. They didn't have a problem with it.
Mhm. Yep.
But I think that's pretty much, I think we went through everything.
Mhm.
So, do you have any final thoughts on anything that we discussed?
Not really any final thoughts. I think that, well, yeah, you know what? I do. I think that this conversation is shifting. The gender war conversation is shifting. And I think that that's why you see a lot of the larger names or the people who had any influence during the time kind of moving their way on to different things because this conversation is wrapping up. I don't know if people are paying attention to that yet, but the gender war conversation is wrapping up because it was a toxic conversation to begin with. So it
Yes.
didn't have, it ain't got a whole lot of shelf life. So anybody that's doing any type of gender war content or just now coming into it, you might as well grift on somewhere else because people are tired of this conversation. We've been having it now
Absolutely.
for a while. And when people, that don't see solutions, eventually they move on. So yeah, that's basically all I had to say in summary is that this conversation is wrapping up. It is.
Excellent. All right. Well, thank you so much, Woman Sphere, for coming up and gracing my panel as always. And
No problem.
do come again. I appreciate you, sis. All right. So now we have Mr. Chaos Rain. I do like this one at a time thing. I love it. What's up, brother?
What's good? Hear me?
Uh, yeah, I can hear you just fine.
Yeah, it's a little bit. Give me a few minutes. Give me a minute. 1 minute. Hold on.
Okay.
Give me 1 minute. Let me get to quiet. I'm still like. Give me 1 second. Let me just walk somewhere quiet. 1 second.
Oh, okay, no problem. While you're doing that, I look down here into the chat room. I see that just a regular guy stuck his head in. He says, you put Six the Goddess name into Google and her adult film career comes up. Really? Okay, Six the God. She used to do, are you saying that she did porn? Just a regular guy. You're talking about porn? Okay. Whew, okay. That puts a little different spin on it. Okay, that's a little bit different because I don't, stripping. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do. OnlyFans. Sometimes you got porn. Hmm. I don't know. I don't know. Can you be an ex
All
porn
right, you ready?
star? Yeah. I'm grappling with what just a regular guy just put down here. He said that you put the guy's name into Google and her adult film career comes up. So can
No.
you?
That's unnecessary. That's unnecessary. I did not know she was a stripper. One content creator that used to spin a cup already exposed that, and he was able to because she reached out to him to not go further. I don't really care about porn or what else. Once you're doing dancing and stuff, that's another form of porn, but it's soft porn. We need to know all about that extra stuff. That's just waste time. That's people that's reaching to look for something more explicit. But for a while now, it makes sense now why she did YouTube a little more full timer because everything shut down. But that's not the premise of this discussion. The discussion is this contradiction. This thing that
Mhm.
I covered this yesterday. Was it yesterday or the day before I said? Actually 2 days ago. And now I might have to double up a little more now. Now that I'm getting different perspective now, now I think of this. Because when you look at things, you don't look at a more broader perspective. You get me? But it
Mhm.
lets me think saying, wait a minute, someone's right. She was married still, and then her marriage dissolved almost 2 years ago. And I'm thinking, now critically, she talks about black men, just like most of these female content creators. And then behind closed doors, they're fucking sucking black men. And it hit me say, something's not right here. Now I don't defend much people, man or woman, as you know, Faith, and I shouldn't, and I'm never going to now. That a good portion of people that watch our content, I'm telling people many times, you should not be treating this as a cult. You should not be worshiping. Matthew, you should criticize everything, especially preaching you to do certain things, and we're not doing. That
Yeah,
should be
I agree
over.
with that. I actually
For
say that all the time. I say it all the time. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know you said enough. I watch your content when I get a chance to watch, and you always keep harping it. But it's not going to resonate to a lot of men and women. And we're not talking the ones that's our age range. We're talking the ones that's coming up that uses social media now as their base of understanding how the world works, and it becomes dangerous. You get me?
Right.
That's where
Right.
I'm at with it. You get me? I'm having a big problem with all this. You get me? Now, some people did consider this man as a player, Mac, and all this stuff. I look at more broad that this is one of black men, like many, that talk one thing but try and do something else. It's a contradiction because he's influencing other young fucking black men.
So are you talking about David Carroll?
Yes.
Okay.
I have not heard about David Carroll till 2015 when he popped up through the algorithm back then. I only saw one or two videos of this man when he was showing himself on video. And then after a while, I didn't hear about from him again until the last 2 years. 'Cause I didn't know he was still on YouTube at the time, you know. But now when I think about overall, this kissing and telling, it, it's exposing, but it exposes yourself as well when you do that,
Right.
you know. Now that I think about that, yeah, if you're doing this since the last 9 years, it makes sense that your husband divorced you because you're still you're still having relations or interacting with niggas.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
this
That's
this this is
true.
why I don't push message. When people say, if people ask me why I don't push certain message, or even say why I hold stance of interracialism or all aspects, I tell you this is why. Because when we do behaviors outside ourselves, it comes to burn us and bite us in our ass. Regardless of what they said, the data shows or anything like that. I know black people. You know black people just as well as me, Faith. We're not there mentally, healthy, spiritually, to do anything. I'm sorry. What the hell? I'm here guiding and telling young black men what they should do. They should stop doing this and that. No, why? Why should I do that? Same for you. Why you want to tell young black men to do this? Why? Why should I do that? It shows that there's a failure of raising our youth to be the next man and woman of tomorrow. I could tell
Well,
the
I
amount of ones
can
that's go
let
ahead, go
me
ahead,
just kind of
go ahead.
cut in on you, and I apologize if I'm cutting you off, but the reason why a lot of people come online to share information is because a lot of people may not have gotten this information coming up. They may not
Mhm.
understand that what they're doing is toxic and detrimental to themselves, their family, and the community. So you do kind of need people to speak out on things that they see happening in the community that we just sweep under the rug. Like what goes on in the
Mhm.
house stays in the house, and different
Yeah.
things like that. So I can understand that. Now, it's
Mhm.
not to say that you tell people how to live their lives, but there
Mhm.
should be a general sense of what's appropriate behavior and what's
Mhm.
inappropriate behavior.
Mhm.
And
Okay.
that's where
I
we're
agree.
that's where we're lacking. So that's why people are supposed to be coming on here, but we got the people who are the deviants coming on here teaching some deviant activity. That's the problem.
No.
And then we got people not
Mhm.
calling
Mhm.
out the deviants in their bullshit.
I'll say this. That's one of the biggest challenges we're going to have on social media and on YouTube to try to push an alternate narrative and try to get more of a bigger voice, which is going to be very challenging because I said this many times. A lot of people try to coach people how YouTube works. I tell people many times, unless you're the architect of this platform, you have a understand, but you will never know how the matrix really, really works. You get me? Because you did
Oh
not
yeah,
build it.
right,
So no matter what guys people tell me how this should be done, how to get bigger notice, it's all bullshit at the end of the day. Especially if you're a black person trying to push what is proper and right from your own heart and really guide people with real experience. You get me? Because think
right.
about it. The deviants got more voice than anybody else as small as we are. And if we're something wrong with us. Do you imagine that? Imagine that?
Oh
But
yeah, I see it all the time.
I always ask people, what drew you to deviancy? Are you a devious person from the start? Because you gotta really be comfortable with what you are as a person. And that takes soul searching. You need to ask these biggest questions. And I will tell and I'm gonna be honest with you. In my analytics, I don't got nobody under 25 watching my shit. I'm just keeping it real right now. You get me? So right there, I can't save no one if I did speak a proper information to them at that age. That's gone. You get me? Only people that really come around me is that watch my joke is in their 30s and up. And those are people that are already trying where their brains are so solely developed or they're looking for actual proper information or just content that's something different from the nonsense.
And
And
that's
really,
how I feel.
it
That's how I feel. Like when I was coming out and I was seeing that there was a
yeah.
problem in the black community with deviancy and inappropriate behavior, I said, okay, we need to get a hold on this. I was agreeing for the most part when the men were saying, black women, with the whole single motherhood, wearing it as a badge of honor. Yeah, because we did have our songs with Fantasia, with the baby. Oh, yeah, it's cool to be a baby mama thing and all that type of stuff. Shout out to the baby mamas. And I was like, okay, this is something that we need to change. We need to teach different. We need to teach our girls that we need to be more selective about procreation. So that's an example of deviancy that I'm talking about. There's a lot of people that will sit up here and try to, just like I was on a panel and I had a bunch of women trying to get me to agree that selling bots was okay if you're doing it to feed your kids.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
they tried to get me to agree to it. Come on, Faith, let's say it together. Let's all, if we all say it together, then we all hoes. We can't nobody not be a hoe
Yeah.
over here.
Yeah. That you can't fly. You too grown for this. You almost push a fit. You can't rock with that now. That message. Oh no. That's
Right.
that.
And
And
I'm
people
not
forget. Yeah. Go ahead.
and I'm not ashamed of that, and that's the other thing. You have these deviant men out here that act like you have the audacity to age if you're a woman. People are going to age. Your ass is getting old.
Yeah.
And
Of
then you're
course.
sitting up here talking about replacing women with younger women. These younger women ain't thinking about you unless they are in poverty. And that is
Yeah.
facts.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially in America. Yeah. Yeah. Of course. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you. Like I said, we gotta keep pushing the narrative. And be honest with you, I did a stream on this about why black women should not hold other black women accountable, or why they shouldn't. And I did this yesterday, and I did lost a few subscribers here, not much, but I had to be honest here that how these dudes telling the major content creators to have more big voice to really create a bigger platform to really look at black women dead in the eye and tell them that you fuck up and all this stuff without any fear of consequences. Because women are not gonna be so geared to be hearing other people tell them what to do, especially women, and think and tell them directly to them and then think something not gonna happen to them. We all know the Jerry Springer shows, even the Love and Hip Hop, regardless of these are TV shows, but we know even outside TV, we see in social media what happens. You think me as a person, man, gonna tell? And I know most of them have daughters. You gonna tell your own daughter, say if a woman's fucking up and they're doing it, you gonna go check her? Really? No. Stop it. No one's doing
Yeah,
that
yeah, that's
because the
true.
fear of violence and all other aspects of your health, your spirituality, all stuff is gonna be affected if you decide to do that in person. And I'm not talking about a fear factor. If you had to defend yourself for whatever reason, that's different. But you're not gonna sit and check no. Get the fuck out of here. You get me? Hell, some dudes not gonna even check other men up front. Say, I'm just keeping real with you. So
You know what?
I'm not gonna
I
put
was just
yeah.
thinking that a lot of these guys are not going to check another man, but they would sit up here talking about domestic discipline on a woman. You are not going to check another man. If I was your woman and I saw another man constantly checking you, ain't nothing that you can say to me. Nothing. And if you put your hands on me, boy, you going to jail.
It's that simple. You get me? We should not be putting violence towards each other, much as on the same sex. Because everybody talks about black and black violence is bad. It is, and it is for a reason why it's so bad. You get me? Regardless if it's slowing down or it's increasing for the last few years. It lets you know that black people are not accustomed to really check others on the same sex in regards to degeneracy. And I'm just the honest truth. So I'm not gonna really make a message or tell anyone say you must go check this person physically, or you must go if they do it, you go check them right now, right there. I'm not gonna do that. You get me? And we gotta be honest. And the reason why because everybody got things to do. Everybody got lives to live. If
Exactly.
if if a if a man's not gonna do it, damn sure. And I don't think a woman's gonna do it. But regardless of the situation, we are where we at as people. And last thing, me as a person, and I saw a concrete telling saying that it's not the same like this pasty woman doing it. The reason why a pasty woman could do that in London because she's in the UK. If she was in America and it's broadcast, she better hope it's scripted because no way hell you're gonna be checking not only her woman but Western black woman. She might check
No.
some, but she's not gonna check all of them because they're gonna look straight to her face and gonna put hands on her. That's
Yes.
why she took her operations over UK. Because we know those people from the Caribbean and the Africans that's raised and born in UK are not gonna put hands on each other. Matter of fact, they don't put hands; they use knives. Let's keep real.
But not only that, but they are so far removed from American colonialism, and they
Yes,
feel as if black women, not black women, black people, I'm not just black women, but they feel that black people
black people.
overall are beneath them. So they would
Hmm.
love to be in cahoots with white supremacy, especially if it's going to make us look bad because they don't mind making us look bad. That's the reason why they do all these skits. A lot of these skits that are done online are from non-American black people, and they're
Yep.
doing caricatures of black American life, and they think it's funny. So I'm not surprised that Pearly Things, like you said, like you pointed out, could go to the
Hmm.
UK and find black people who are not of American descent to, you know, pretty much that she could talk down to and make a fool of in person on camera. Like you said, she wouldn't be able to do that here in the
She
United
can't do it in here.
States. If
It's suicide. It's suicide.
if she bought Woman's Fair on her, you know what I'm saying? Imagine Woman's Fair, Faith,
Hmm.
let's see who else, Bomb Cherry. Imagine we all sitting up there and she get to talking that shit.
You're gonna get your ass up and say, "Make me." You're gonna walk right in her face, and they're gonna have her so-called coons gonna try to defend her.
Mm-hmm.
Because the minute you take your hand and you get just a inch with her, it's gonna be a wrap. And trust me, you are like her kids. You're old enough to be her fucking daughter. You get me? Some 26. Oh, oh damn, she dropped. She'll come back. Hopefully she'll come back. Make sure you guys like this stream. And I can't see the chat room either. As we wait. Come on, Faye. Yeah, but oh, and if y'all guys watch, I know some of y'all subscribe to my channel, some of y'all don't. I get it. I get it. I ain't the cup of tea for everybody, but I'm cup of tea for somebody. So now, if you're so kindly, please subscribe to the Chaos Ring Show. I think I got like 20 more left to get to 1K. Once I get over this hump, I could probably decide what I could do, moving forward though. So, but I had to get through this hump. So, I mean, if y'all can, I would appreciate it. But it is what it is. As we wait for Faith to come back on the channel. And if anybody's know what I'm talking about, it's one of the last live streams I did yesterday about why black men won't hold other black men accountable. And one of the articles that popped up on my time feed was the Shanquilla Robinson follow-up, where she's not going to be charged. That speaks for itself. And it was actually another sister that took her life in Mexico. So, like I said.
Okay, I'm back. Can you hear me?
Yes, you're back. Hello?
Okay, all right. Sorry
Yeah,
about that,
I had to
guys.
stay. I had to stay to make sure you come back. That's all I have to say. Let me move forward with my day. I said enough. But like I said, check the video out I did. Faith, I might have to do a follow stream now on this. I gotta pick the day if I'm gonna do it today or tomorrow. We'll see. Thank you.
Okay, well, I'll be there. If you drop it, I'll definitely drop in for
Yeah,
you.
I'm doing mostly nighttime. I wish I could squeeze one a little bit early before after a certain time, but I gotta get in when I can get in. You know how it goes. All right.
All
All right
right.
then.
Well,
Take your Faith.
thank you so much for coming up, and I appreciate you. Please do come again.
Sure. Thank you.
All right, guys. Sorry about that snafu. I had a problem with my telephone. I'm streaming on my phone, and guess what? It just started overheating out of nowhere. So I have to get on my PC. So yeah, there's a lot of things that's wrong with Black people as far as how we do our content online. Like I said, we have a lot of people coming on who are panderers, and they're just saying anything, and you could tell the panderers because they'll agree with any and everything as long as it panders to what their target audience wants to hear. And I have a problem with people that do that. I think Derek Jackson is a panderer. And you could tell when a person is a panderer because they don't have support from the same sex. And that is because, and Jason Black, much as I, don't like him for a lot of the black female bashing that he used to do. Now all of a sudden he's turned over a new leaf. I don't know how long that's going to last, but he pointed it out. If you are a content creator and majority of your audience is the opposite sex and everything that you say caters to what they want to hear, you never go against anything that they want to hear. Everything that they say, everything that they do is right. You are a panderer. If you can never hold that particular segment accountable, you're doing it on purpose because you're grifting from that particular audience. You're pandering and you're grifting. So if you don't have male support, that is because the other men recognize what you're doing and they see that you are a panderer, a grifter. You will say anything just to please the women because you're getting their clicks, their views, their likes, and their money. And that's the reason why the men won't support you. And the same thing goes to the women content creators. If you're a woman content creator and you don't have an even male female audience, all your audience and all your money comes from niggas that you pander to. And you don't have a good female following, that is because the women looking at what you're doing, they see that you're pandering and they see that you're just saying anything to appease this audience, even if it means offending your sister. And that's the problem that a lot of the women who supported the manosphere, that's what they're coming against. That's the reason why the other women will call you mammies. That is the reason why the other women will say that you are a pick me, because they don't respect what you're doing. They don't respect that you're sitting up here just regurgitating talking points in order to get this audience that you see you can get this money from. That's the reason why Melanie King has a very, very vast male following, very few women following her. Because real recognizes real. Real is always going to recognize real. So when women see that, they're like, okay, yeah, she's pandering, she's grifting, she's saying anything for this audience. That's the reason why when Jessica X came on the scene, we didn't even know what she looked like. She just had an avatar and a picture. But she was saying everything that men wanted to hear, whether they were right or wrong. If I see a person agreeing with somebody and it don't matter if they're right, it don't matter if they're wrong, you're a panderer. Or as they would call, I'm learning all these new terms, panda bear. They call you a panda bear, a grifter. So this is your grift. You pander to this all-male audience of low self-esteem men that can't get women in real life. And this is what you call content. Okay, I have Alexander Brannon in the background. What's up, Alexander?
Not much. Yeah, I'm just doing what I do every day. Got to make this money. I want to say that it's really sad that that women are judged by their looks, except for their talent, because because um I have I well I'm doing story time on Sunday, and I would let black women tell their stories. And so if anyone wants to come and tell their stories and experiences, they can. It's an open panel, so I don't. And the thing about my channel is that we do not judge anyone over there. So
Okay, well, I appreciate that, Alexander. But what did you have to say on the topic for my channel? I do appreciate you shouting out your channel on my channel without my permission.
oh yeah, my bad, but oh yes, I think I think the topic is needed, and I think we should be it should be more conversations like this, and also I think I think it's I think it's important that you know we we get out of the conversation of the toxic stuff and promote more positive stuff. So I think the topic is is really good. I think it's needed.
What's the topic, Alexander? You don't
Mhm.
know what the topic is. You came here being disrespectful.
Hold on.
Hold on,
No,
and then
no.
you started shouting out your own channel, and then talking about your own channel. Oh, he's gone now. I'll take my banner down. Excuse me, guys. I had to do that because I didn't know who that guy was. But that was disrespectful. First of all, coming on here shouting out your own channel and talking about what you're gonna talk about,
Someone, someone
Alexander. Yeah,
called me. I got.
yeah,
I,
and then
yeah.
not only that, but not only do you do that on the channel, but you don't even know what the topic is about. Now I asked you one time, what's the topic about? It's actually in the title. Did you even see the title? Demetrius says, you remember this guy? He's from Themis and Thoth. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with this guy, but
It's,
Alexander, what's going on with you're coming in and out here.
I am. Oh man, uh, hate StreamYards. But yeah, I see the title is called Infighting in the Black Sector. I see it, and I'm not the only one who sees the infighting going on, because because what happened, and I think that all this infighting that's going on in the black sector, I think it proves that our people are more divided than we thought. That's that's what came to mind.
Okay, all right. Well, AP from the Bronx knows you. She says that you're pro black woman, and some people have seen you on Themis and Thoth. I wanted to ask you a question about, how the women are being depicted, because I noticed you said that you don't agree with a woman's past being held against her. Do you know who Six the goddess is?
Yes, ma'am. I, yes, ma'am. I've heard of her, and and she seems like, and she seems well well she is a beautiful woman, I can say. And and you know the way that a certain black man used her past against her, it makes me infuriate. And also I and also I think that it should never had happened because because it's not fair that we can judge that a woman can be judged on her past, but a man can't be judged on his. And that's how I look at
Exactly, exactly. And that's what I'm saying. A lot of times, men can be currently doing something and it could be completely wrong. Like there was plenty of men who were outed for messing around with underage children. And a lot of men broke their necks defending these men. But then you have a woman, six to goddess, that has a past. Now, I don't know anything about this new stuff. Some people said that she used to also do porn. But I mean, if that's in her past, if that's something that she's no longer doing, she's not promoting it, she's on to something else, she's grown, then how come people can't grow from something that might have been something that they were not proud of in their past?
it. Dang, dang, and and that also I've what I was thinking too. I mean, is Six the goddess did all that stuff in her past, but it doesn't. But she is she's a changed woman now, and for me, I do not. I do not and I cannot in my right mind think why they would try to do this to her, and and it really amazes me. It really does.
Now, do you think that if a woman used to be a stripper or even a porn star, can is should she be allowed to, if she changed and directed her life in a totally different way, should she be allowed to tell women how to be feminine, how to be beautiful, and how to conduct themselves as a lady? Do you think that she would be able to do that?
Well, well, I do not participate in the the conversations when it comes to the stuff that Six the Goddess is doing, but I would say um you know mm, if women are you know are changed, I think sh- they at least should have you know at least have the compassion for other women that's doing wrong, you know and the femininity stuff. I I mean I mean the black manosphere, as we see, let a white woman, you know, uh, do talk, you know, so and it come to find out she's not even married. So at the end of day, I think women should have places where they can, you know, talk about their experiences. So I guess is a yes for me.
Okay. Now, see, that's what I was looking for. I was looking for more or less for somebody to, say that, especially hearing it from a man. I really, really appreciate that. But did you have any final words before I move on to the next caller?
Yeah, yes, I do. To the women out there, I want to say that uh, you should focus on yourself and do not let anybody try to turn you away from your self love and your journey to find peace. And with that, I'm I'm done.
All right. And tell the people where they can find you again. What's your
Oh,
channel name?
my channel name is Alexander Brandon, and and you'll be able to see my face on there on the picture.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you, brother, again for coming, and please do come again. And I apologize earlier. I didn't know you. I knew the other two because they're content creators. So now that I know you, I look forward to hearing from you again.
All right.
All right. Let me go ahead and put my screen down. What's up, sis? Mahogany Roots in the house.
Hey Faith, how you doing, boo?
I'm doing good, girl. Who boy?
Good. I enjoyed the show today. I've been back and forth, but I've been listening, and I enjoyed the show. I don't really have too much. Did you want to ask me anything?
Well, I did. Just from your point of view, because you seem to. Because I just started listening to Danica and Six the Goddesses content. Like I said, I don't really have a problem with a lot of what they had to say in their content. Some things, I may not have agreed with because it sounds too much like they're upholding a manosphere talking points. But other than that, a lot of their advice was actually pretty sound.
Uh-huh.
So my whole thing is, how do you feel about this whole thing about all of a sudden these guys are all in an uproar? Danica and Six, they're not all of that no more. Like these guys
Mhm.
are really doing the most. Did you
I
have
gotta.
a chance to see any of that stuff?
I did. I'm gonna be honest. I saw the Obsidian's title and I didn't want to see it because he had just invited Danica over there as a guest, and I'm just thinking to myself, you backstabbing. I don't even want to say what I was thinking, but I didn't like it at all. Like whenever I see people do stuff that is morally, in my opinion, morally corrupt, I don't want to see it because I know you're on some BS. I have a whole lot to say about it. I'm gonna try and run it down real quick. So, one thing about me, and Faith, you've known me long enough to know, it's weird that you and I both have been, whenever you at least agree with the man one time, you get called a mammy in this space, which is weird because if people watch your content or my content, I try to be as balanced as I could possibly be. I just try to call things the way I see it and give my honest opinion about things. I'm not on one side or the other. I just try to use common sense when I'm dealing with the situation. I don't favor sex. I don't know what this is about. I've never understood the sex war in this space. But let me just tell you one thing about me, that there's a reason why some of the women I just can't mess with, and I've named names, so there's no mystery of who I'm talking about. I can deal with some of the ladies because I feel like they're more balanced. I've checked out. It was through my recommendation. I checked out Danica, and I've seen her give a little pushback from time to time. And my thing is, as long as you can do that, and you're able to stand up and say, hey, this is too far. This is no, I'm not going to agree with that. You guys are losing your wig. No, I'm not going to say that this is okay. And you're able to stand on your ground. Sometimes I can rock with that. It's the women, and I'm gonna call it out. Like Crimson, I don't have a lot of respect for Crimson. I don't hate Crimson, but I don't have a lot of respect because if you go to her channel, and I've tried to give her a chance, but when you go to her channel and literally everything that's wrong with the world is a black woman's fault every single day, it could be something that just came out. Disturbing that a black man did, she will purposely not talk about it and make it about women. Like
She's a panderer. She's a panda
she
bear.
really is, and it's bad. I mean, I've never seen anything like it in my life. She was literally over there talking about how the women are worse than R. Kelly. Okay, fine, you can say that, but are you ever in your life gonna like get a backbone and say anything bad that some of these guys are spewing out here? And she won't. And so I just can't not rock with that. And not only that, she admitted she did an interview with that guy Anton Daniels. um child. But I remember when Crimson was blatantly out here throwing shots at women that weren't bothering her, i.e. Rashida Strober. She was over there calling her all kinds of hyenas, and she does that from time to time, and she gets a pass because she's their attack dog. She's the men in this space attack dog. And I've even had men that, they don't want to admit that they like me, but they like me. But they'll ask me not to talk about her because they like her. Of course you like her because she tells you everything you want to hear. And I've been trying to tell these men that just because somebody tells you everything you want to hear doesn't mean they're for you. Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's like they don't understand that. So she's one that really rubs me the wrong way. Like I said, Rashida Strober had never spoken a bad word against her, never did anything against her, and she was up there saying all kinds of horrible things. But to me, she's a mean girl. The same thing with Chantel. I've tried to listen to her, but I just can't. She's one of those ones that I feel is just blatantly
she is you have to be a person that is able to listen and not get into your feelings. With both,
well, I'm gonna tell you something. I gotta tell you something.
I'm gonna tell you this. There's a lot of stuff that they're not wrong about, but I don't like how they position the message because they're not really talking to Black women. And this is the problem that I have with both Crimson and Chantel. They're not really talking to Black women. They're talking at Black women, but they're really talking to Black men about Black women. It's just kind of like how you have a problem with another woman, but instead of you going to that woman and talking to that woman and you having a woman-to-woman talk respectfully, you're going to her husband and talking to her husband about her. And you being disrespectful, and then he's, being disrespectful, and then y'all just both, tearing that woman down. That's how I see Crimson and Chantel.
That's exactly. I want to say this, but that's exactly what they're doing. Because if you look at their audience, I'm willing to bet you their audiences are like 99.9% men. So they're out here talking about they're trying to teach women. They are not trying to teach women. They're trying to preach to the men what they want to hear. And the few women that they have over there, a lot of them, I've seen some of them. A lot of them are content creators that are just trying to peep the game so they can do the same thing that they're doing and run up in these niggas' pockets. Like I'm just, you know what? If these guys want to be stupid, because I could change my content tomorrow and do the same thing that they're doing, but my conscience won't let me. And that's the difference between a real person and a fake person. And I just can't be fake like they are. I can't do it. And so I will give my hats off to the women. Like I've seen Six stand up for women. I've seen Danica do it too. I've seen other women in this space do it. The breakdown.
I've seen Sister George and
Yes,
Rose stand up for women. But the problem that I have with Danica, Six, Concrete Rose, and Sister George is that when they're in these spaces with these men and these men are saying atrocious things, they are also agreeing with a lot of the atrocities too.
Well, I'm gonna say from what I've watched, I can't say whether because I don't see every single live stream, but from what I've seen, they've challenged a lot of those things. Sometimes I'd be watching people in the class.
Some other things, but a lot of the things, they don't challenge. And see, my whole thing is like, if you're able to get a husband and you're middle age and you're overweight, that should be something that you should be taken to task with these men that talk about a woman gotta be fit, feminine, and friendly. And I don't see them doing that. So that's the problem that I have with these ladies. They don't do enough of it.
Okay, and I understand that. I will say this. I mean, men, one thing I know about men is they say one thing and they do another. You know how many men that came up in my chat room and in my comment section talking about my tattoos? Child, I bet you when the lights off, they wouldn't give a damn about these tattoos. And I got a bunch of them. You know what I'm saying? They say one thing and they do another. They say they don't like makeup. But when you look in the DMs, they are and all the women with the makeup that, like you were just talking about Mr. Fantastic talking crap, but yet he's running around chase. You know what I'm saying? These men say one thing and do another. So I don't really, me personally, I just, child, I just sit back and laugh at a lot of it, to be honest. But one thing, I do respect women's right to have their opinions. It's just when I feel like it's not genuine, and those the ladies I called out, particularly Crimson and Chantel, I just feel like it's not genuine. Let me just say this one thing. Also, these women that are just so perfect, you know, these men are, you know, hyping them up to be so perfect. None of these women got men. To me, if you're that perfect and you're just in that, why don't they have a man? I'm just saying.
Yes, please. Okay, let me tell you something. Okay, I loved it when Sister George announced that she was engaged. I loved it. I was like, yes, score
Mhm.
one for our team, because Sister George had a son before she met her husband, and she's not a size 6. Surely, surely this proves that your talking points are wrong. And same thing with her friend Concrete Rose. Same thing with Concrete Rose. And these are women that I feel could talk to women and actually tell them how they did it. These women can actually tell them how they did it, because they did it and they're doing it. But now you got Miss Pearly Thing is 26, unmarried, not a size 6, ugly. You know,
Mhm.
all the things. And this is, I'm not being mean. This is not me being mean. I'm just checking off their checklist. I'm
Uh-huh.
reading off their checklist. But now all of a sudden you gonna push Sister George and Concrete Rose to the side for this. And this
You
26-year-old, this 26-year-old that ain't got no experience with nothing is supposed to tell women how to get a man. Houseway.
Oh, girl, that's what I'm saying. That's why it's laughable to me, because Pearly has got to be the most hideous thing. And it's not because of her color. She's just not attractive. She just not. She's a man in a dress. She just gives me athlete's foot vibe. Just, you know, oh God, take a shower vibe. Like nothing about her is cute, attractive, and she's not very smart. She can barely hold a sentence. Um, you know, but thank God for daddy's money, honey. Thank God for daddy's money. But I could care less. And it just, like you said, it gave everybody, us all, a chance to see where these men really stand. If we didn't know before, we definitely know now, honey.
Definitely know now. But hey, white skin. White
Yeah.
skin is the answer. As long as white skin says so, that's it. You bitches gotta go. Danica, you know I love you and everything. This is me talking as a black man. Danica, I love you and everything. Love watching you and all that type of stuff. But you got to go. Here come white skin. Six the goddess. I love you and everything. Enjoyed you know, all the sexual poses and all the stuff that you did in your videos and everything like that. But you a hoe. You used to be a slut. You used to be a stripper. Fuck you. White skin is here. You know that's what they did.
Yeah,
That's
that's what
what
they
they
did.
did.
Oh,
So
it's sad. It
if
just
this
was
isn't a
sad.
wake up call, I don't know what.
It was. They did it. I will say the breakdown did a show, just saying like, they're done with it. They're done with, you know, pleading these men's cause, and that, you know, but you know, they had no choice, because look at how they were thrown under the bus. And I just did not enjoy the whole thing that these guys were doing. I didn't enjoy it, but it needed to happen. Like their true colors needed to show for everybody to see it, and now everybody sees it. They can't deny it.
And see, this is why I asked you to come up here.
Sure.
You said the right thing. That one thing that you just said just now. They had no choice. Before, it was full steam ahead as long as they thought they were in the boys' club. But now that they got no choice because they left them outside cold without a coat or shoes.
I'm gonna tell you something, Faith. I was actually really shocked that they went and pulled up six. Well, even though it was out there, like I said, six, not six, Danica, like just pulling up people's past. I was like, wow, y'all are really dirty. But yet, Pearlie's past of me too in a person, um,
They don't
nobody
they don't
cared
talk
about it.
about the Me Too. And
Yeah,
as black men, and kind of find out the Me Too that she did was not even valid.
yeah,
That's
it
the
didn't
other
seem
thing.
valid. The
Because like
story didn't
I
sound
don't
right.
have a problem with women, banding together and saying, "Hey, this person is a creep." But if you outright lie on somebody and try to tear down a person's reputation, that's something totally different. And these brothers who are also black men, that goes to show that white skin will also have them turn against their own brother, because they will turn a blind eye to white skin me tooing a brother.
Let me tell you something, Faith. I've been seeing it years ago that they don't give a damn about brothers because guess what? If you can get up on your platform and say that you'll F a married woman and you'll do this and to that to these hoes and that's somebody's daughter and that's somebody's sister, one of your brother's sisters, then you don't care about your brothers. Like you cannot be for black men and hate black people as a whole. It just does not mix. So I've always known that about a lot of them, that they don't like their own blackness. Um, it's not even about the women; they just don't like their own blackness. Just,
No.
ooh, yeah.
But
But girl,
I'm really glad that you came and shared a lot of your input, especially on the women that you really, because I really do. I of all the women that we just listed,
uh huh.
Sister George, Concrete Rose, Danica, and Six to Goddess, they do, like you said, at least have a man of their own, and they will go against the brotherhood from time to time. But
Yes,
Crimson Cure and Miss Simone, they will never, ever go against the brotherhood. And that's the reason why they can maintain a following, but these men will not put them at the forefront like they do Pearlie. And
mm-hmm.
the other problem that I have with that is that at least Crimson, I don't know about Chantel, but Crimson has accepted her place as being last.
She has, because they sure enough call her ugly every chance they get. They call her ugly, honey.
Mhm.
Crimson can't pay for the penis, honey. They continuously call her ugly, but she still do her pit bull duties, honey. She sure do.
She sure do. And that's the sad part about it, because we got a woman operating out of this much self-loathing, talking down to other women. Now you really, really got to think very low of yourself to accept being last.
Faith, I don't want to make this about Crimson, but when I heard Crimson get on her platform, okay, somebody that I do not believe was ever legally married, honey, but she's telling people how to be a wife, honey. And okay, fine, you sister wife number 4, number 5, but the man don't live with you, so you don't know what it is to do laundry every day and cook and clean for a man every day, but you sitting up here telling us how to be a wife. When I heard that, and then to top of it, you at that time she was in an apartment telling women, when you get married, you none of that, you need to sign all of that over to your husband. Excuse my French, but you ain't got no goddamn husband. So,
No.
when I heard that, I was done. I was done.
But not only that, but I've heard her talk about how she was put last, even in her pecking order as a sister wife. And she
Yeah.
accepted that. So
Low
this is
self,
a
I'm
woman
telling
who
you.
is used to accepting being put last, telling other women how to function in a relationship with a man.
Yep, it's low self-esteem, and it doesn't surprise me. I actually have ran into women like that in real life, and it's actually quite sad. Um, what Crimson hides behind her face, and that's why people give her a break. I'm gonna be honest. That's why I gave her a break, because I'm a very, I won't say religious person, but I believe in the Bible, and I don't, but at the same time, um there's so much wrong in what she's doing, but it's like, I'll just let her live. But I hate the fact that she hides behind that hijab, and yet she's just as nasty as she could be to other women. I really hate that, but I've met women like that in real life. They should have been taught by other women, but they've been taught by men to be humble as dirt and let men walk all over them, and they think that that's righteous, and then they go out and try to teach that to other women. It's like, you told Harpo to beat me, type of heifer. That's what you're dealing with, Faith.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly what we're dealing with. And see, and Mr. Fantastic, I just want to go back to him real quick, because he was the most atrocious as far as the dragging of Danica and Six the Goddess. And he really, really went out of his way to how can I say, undermine Danica's husband as a trainer too. I also peeped that. And it was all because somebody said something back to him. And this is a man that's broken. This man has been broken for a long time. And now I'm going to talk about things that he himself have put out. See, before, like Sister George had told me, when Fantastic came at me on her panel, she's like, well, you came at him first. I talked about things that this man put out about himself. The same way that I'm talking about this Crystal Harrison thing that she put out about herself. So if he comes on here and he talks about freely how he has a dark-skinned daughter, and he tells her the truth about her station in life of not being desirable, he has said these things out of his own mouth.
Wow.
So you cannot put your biases and colorism to the side long enough to reassure your own daughter that she is a beautiful Black woman.
Can I say
you women of
Go
the
ahead.
manosphere, and you women of the manosphere who support him, who are friends with him, turn a blind ear to it. That's the problem I have with y'all. See, you hear and see what you want to hear and see. How is it that I can hear that, but you don't hear that? How is it that I can see that, but you don't see that? See, I don't like the selective hearing and the selective seeing either on the behalf of these women that support these men. And that's why I cannot be in full support of any of these women, any of them. And I like Sister George and Concrete Rose. I watch the channel and everything.
Well, I want to say this about Mr. Fantastic. Of course, we all know him from way back in the day in the Rumble and all that. But I'm gonna be honest, I'm not a follower of his. I've been on his panel once, I think, when they were having a topic, and I just hopped up there. So I don't really know anything that he says. But I will say this: you, as a father, your baby girl, honey, you have such an influence on the self-esteem of your baby girl. We all know that when girls don't get attention from their daddies, the dangers that can present as far as other prying men and preying boys getting their hands on them. So that's dangerous. If he said something like that, I do know, I have heard him say coloristic things. But he's another one. Like I said, I don't want to put too much tea out there, but these men say one thing, and then behind the scenes come to find out they like a little chocolate. Now, I'm not saying it was me. I'm just saying I've heard that he like a little chocolate.
I do not, girl, let me tell you, a man is going to like whatever he can get.
Uh-huh.
He is. Now, he might have a preference for something, but if he can't get that, he's going to like whatever he can get.
Mm-hmm.
That's the reason why I said earlier, probably the reason why you praising the BBWs so much, because that's all you can get. Not saying there's anything wrong with BBWs, but ain't nothing wrong with a regular sized woman or a skinny woman. See, the thing that I don't like about Fantastic is You are voted the most ugliest man in the space, bar none. But you got so many, how can I say, rivets of what type of woman you want, and you don't even deserve what you asking for. That's the
Faith.
kicker for me.
But girl, Faith, you know, a lot of these men, they got this number scale thing going on, which I've never participated in that nonsense about rate yourself and all that. Please, child, I'm me and I'm fabulous. And I just want women to don't participate in that nonsense. But all these men do that. All of them, and I haven't seen one yet that was hot fire, honey. There's a few, there's a few on here, but they ain't none of them that made me moist. So they all do that, and then you see them, and they got the receding hairline going on, they got the pot belly, they got all this stuff going on, but they talking about how they want a tan, honey, and
Mm-mm.
how they didn't call me a 2 and a 3, honey, and I'm thinking to myself, child, you couldn't breathe on the back of my BDBs, honey. This 2 or 3 wouldn't let you breathe on the back of my BDB. Don't worry about it, brother. I
Mm-mm.
mean, I'm tripping because it's like, oh God.
Yeah, and that's the whole thing. They'll sit up there and they'll tell you what you are, what you can't have, what you don't deserve, what you should do. Like a lot of these men are even sitting up here saying that single mothers is just for sex.
Yeah,
So
I've
they
heard that.
they,
I
they
hate
want
that.
you
I've
to
heard that. I've
they
heard
want
that.
you to just relegate yourself as just being for sex. And the women who are in these manosphere spaces, like I said, if I heard it and you just said you heard it, how come y'all don't hear this? How come none of y'all don't hear them saying this stuff and say something to them about it? And I don't want to hear, oh, but I do. No, no, I'm talking about you're in the space, you repping the space. If I'm in the space and if I'm repping the space and the space is connected to me, and I hear any one of y'all say some shit like that, I don't care if I was there. I don't care if I listened to it on the replay. I don't care if it was a year ago, 2 years ago, or yesterday. I'm going to call you out on that shit. I'm going to say, what the fuck? You were just on my panel. Then you went over here and said this. So that's the reason why, I feel that these women are disingenuous. And like I said, Chantel and Crimson, they're just the more, how can I say, egregious of the pack. But like I said, you have the other ones who are just a little less egregious. They're
I'm gonna
little,
tell you also. I gotta tell you something too, Faith. This is another reason because I peeped her. I didn't just, point her as the mean girl, but there's another young lady that the men turned on, light skinned girl. I can never remember her name, Courtney Michelle. And God forbid, she said, you know what, the men, this was all around this passport business. But she said, you know what, the brothers that want to stay here and find good American women, I support that. Of course, the Obsidian turned on her. I expected that. But Chantel took it upon herself to do live stream after, just like a mean girl. To me, mean
yeah,
girls are not.
Chantel she's a mean girl. She
Yeah.
is.
And the girl
Because
was
even,
crying and yeah.
no, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, the girl was crying and she did live stream after live stream after live stream making fun of that girl. And I just don't respect that. I've never respected a bully. She to me is a YouTube bully. And like I said, she is lonely. She all right, but she ain't all that. And like I said, I'm not even sure she has ever spent time around an American black woman to know what she's talking about, to talk about what we look like and our diet and what we do day to day, honey. I know plenty of American black women that got it going on, including myself. So it's just really hard for me to listen to her. My best friend also, a reason it's hard for me because I've let my best friend listen to her. She's from the islands, and she like, girl, is this? I said, yeah, she's serious. Now, keeping in mind, me and my girlfriend, we dance together. She's an actual professional carnival performer. All that we out there, honey, like that with her and out here in the scene, and calling us ratchet and all this and that. They have the same issues over there in Jamaica and in the islands. Honestly, to an extent, worse. The fighting and stuff in the clubs is way worse. But it's like listen, the bag is over here, the interest is over here with American women. I take it honestly complimentary that we are on everybody's brain, everybody's mind, because I mean, what's going to happen if they can't talk about us? I don't know.
But see, that's the problem. I think that the reason a lot of these women are coming out the woodworks and doing this is because they got the okay from how black men that are self-hating are acting towards black women. So when
Yeah.
they saw, because a lot of white women that used to not come in black spaces, now you see that they're coming in black spaces with their chest out. They didn't used to do that, but it's because of how these men are. They have basically sent out the message that you are welcome to come into the space and you can disrespect black women. As long as you only disrespecting black women, you can come into the space. And then now you have the black women from overseas. They're thinking, okay, I've heard black men say that black women overseas are better than American black women. So now you see them coming over into the space in troves with the chest out, because that is the message that they perceive from black men that they hear online that talk trash about black women. So they have found a home with these men. They are linked based off of mutual hatred for black women. And I submit to you today that that's probably the reason why those marriages don't last long too.
Oh, they don't. That's why all of it's comical, Faith, because they're promoting something that don't last, because it don't work, because you're searching out somebody for the wrong reasons. The complete wrong reasons, things that change, you age, things, your body changes, and you just going strictly off the aesthetics of a person. And also the stats don't match what they're saying as far as these women being better. How so, honey? How so? According to the CDC and other things, no, they're not better. And I mean, I don't want to do that because it's a part of playing into their game, putting women against women, and I don't want to do that. But if these women had a half a brain, they'd be able to figure out that they're being used to try and hurt black women, to try and make us jealous. So I just say to black women, gird up yourself, have a strong sense of self and self-esteem, and don't worry about these niggas. The fact of the matter is there's black men that love black women. I have one of them that he don't want nothing else than a black woman, and you have one that wants a black woman. So focus on those men. To hell with these, I don't want to use a bunch of words, but coons. To heck with them.
Absolutely.
We shouldn't even care.
And you know what? And that's the other thing. CK, I thank God for meeting CK every day. He is a wonderful person, not just a wonderful man, but a wonderful person in general. I've never met anybody in my life that had as much knowledge as he has. And he has a very articulate way of getting his point across. I listen to him when he does his meetings and Zoom calls, and he carries over into leadership. And that is the epitome of what every woman should be looking for in a man. That is the epitome of what every woman should be looking for in a man who is competent and a man who has leadership skill and ability. And he has the respect of other men within the community. And that's what I have with CK. And I really, really want to give him his shout out.
Yes, I love you two together. And yeah, this is the type of stuff that we should be watching. I don't even know why we listening to these single ass people, the men single, the women single, but they the ones with the views, honey, talking about how to act and how to act in relationship. All these niggas is single. Hold on, Faith. I want to I'm gonna see if my baby will participate, but I'm gonna get him on. Hold on one second. I'm gonna mute for a second.
Okay, all right.
While you do that, I gotta say this quickly. Y'all talk about the guy that said Mr. Fantastic, right? Mr. Reed Richards, right? Isn't this the same dude that traveled 8 hours to go fuck a contrary, and one contrary called him out on that? And he's trying.
Yeah, he was supposed to be traveling to see, I believe,
China White.
Yeah.
No, that was true, and he went on many channels tried to debunk that, like he didn't do that. I'm gonna tell you right now, these are the people that have the bigger attention because they talk fast and talk fly, but behind closed doors, they're doing the same thing.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
I like I said, I don't mind y'all, exposing some of these people. But let's be honest, time is your best example. To me, I don't take a lot of them seriously, personally. So when you find out that someone out them, they out themselves. Don't be fooled. This is why this conversation, to be honest with you, is very important because people are double talking. You get me? And let's
Hmm.
be honest. As long as there's black people on YouTube, this so-called gender war will not end. They're gonna resurface, recreate for some. It's because this is attention seeking, money making. Anything less than that, do you think they have any tangibles to offer? They offer nothing. They don't give you nothing. You're here for entertainment, nothing more, nothing less. And talking about the
Faith,
opposite sex is the best they could offer.
Faith.
Yeah, yeah. What's up, Mahogany?
So I came home from a long day's work last night, and my baby had, honey, what did you make for dinner last night?
It was stuffed salmon, baby,
Stuffed
with
salmon.
spinach, cream cheese, and season it with steamed broccoli and a saffron.
Yes, honey. Yes, honey. And
Ooh,
these
that
people are
sounds
mind no no.
good.
It was really good. He's a chef, but like we were
All right,
just
I'm about to
talking.
go, babe. Thank you. Take care.
All right, all right.
But I was just trying to prove a point that um women do like I said, there's real love, there's real things going on in people's lives, and that needs to be exposed more than the nonsense they got going on. There are men that love black women, that treat them right, and so you don't have to put up with a bunch of nonsense, disrespect, and all this and that. But at the end of the day, we dictate. We give, not us personally, but us as a group. We giving these people views and stuff, and we need to stop that.
Yeah, we definitely do because what ends up happening is if we sit up here and we give them the clicks and the views, the likes, all of
Uh,
that, that pretty much elevates them to a point where they can reach a broader audience, and then there's more people that they can um, teach the toxicity.
yeah.
Like I like when I go onto your channel and I see you, like Women's Fear and I was talking about, people that show themselves versus people that keep their identity a secret. I
Uh huh.
believe that you can um, put a face to what you're talking about on YouTube, so long as you're not, sharing any of your other personal information.
Hmm.
You don't have to tell them your real name. But if you're going to be talking about diet, work, exercise, working out, how a woman should look, and you're a woman, like I said, I use Jessica X again. If you're going to do that and you're going to uphold a lot of manosphere talking points while you're doing it and be a mean girl towards other women, you damn sure better be able to turn a camera on and show that you look the part of what you're speaking.
Oh yeah, Jessica said she looked better than me, honey, and I said that might be true, but we'll never know, will we, honey? Because you won't turn that camera on. So
Mm-mm.
yeah, child, I agree. And that was one thing I've always done actually on my channel. It wasn't until recently because of all kinds of different issues that for a while I wasn't turning my camera on, but I've always done that because I always wanted to give my audience a piece of me. I do realize that we're in a space where people take things too far and it can be toxic, but if you plan on growing, I will say this, if you plan on growing your channel, especially a podcast type of channel where you're interviewing and stuff, you're going to eventually have to show yourself. And why wouldn't you want to is my thing, unless you have something to hide. And I most definitely don't. There are lots and lots of large channels where people don't need to show themselves because it's not about them. For instance, like channels like, what do you call it, ASMR, those sound channels where they have like glitter and soap, and those channels get a lot of views, but it's not about the person, it's about what they're talking about. So of course you don't need to ever come on camera, you're just showing different types of soaps and stuff. But I feel like if you're going to be, like you said, talking about health and fitness and talking to people about people, a podcast show, you should come on camera from time to time.
Yeah, exactly. And if you're going to be a man and you're demanding, excuse me, you're a man and you're demanding that there's certain things that you want a woman to look like aesthetically, then you better be prepared to turn your camera on and show me that you're the male version of what you want.
Right. Right. And that's the truth. And that's why like I said, I be listening, and there's I was listening to somebody, and the dude got his avatar up. He looked a complete hot mess, honey, calling somebody a five. And I'm thinking to myself, child, and old as dirt too. Rating a
Mhm.
30-something-year-old woman. She could be a five. She's still doing way better than you are, honey. So, these people are just unrealistic, and you almost have to laugh at them. That I don't see how anybody could take them seriously, but apparently there's a lot of mentally ill people online, or people that just don't have no common sense, because I can't take a lot of these people seriously. I don't know how anybody can.
What Demetrius Chakachakata, what he says is true, but you could cam up, but you don't have to tell people where you work. Like, I never, in all the years that I've been on here, never told nobody where I work. If you ask
Mhm.
anybody where I work, they could not even tell you where I work. You ask anybody, is Faith my real name? It may be, it may not be.
Right.
I never tell people any of my personal information.
Right. I think it's personally, like when you're talking about addresses and what we call personal information is unnecessary. But like me, I share a lot of what I do, but nobody knows where I work. But yeah, I don't mind showing people what I do for a living because I'm proud of it. But yeah, you don't need to know where I work or exactly where I stay. I mean, that's unnecessary and dangerous.
Exactly. Yes, AB. AP, honey, Mahogany Roots is a chocolate drop, okay? She is a cute, beautiful chocolate drop. So, yeah, and I've heard women, go at Mahogany, oh, I look better than you. And some of the women that have come for you,
Oh,
by the way.
girl. Jesus.
And
Girl, child.
like I said, everybody is basically average. We're basically average. We're all average or ugly.
Uh-huh.
You're either average or you're ugly. Okay. There are very few people in this world who are just how can I say, breathtaking gorgeous, where you see them and you just catch your breath. There are very few people that fall into that category.
I want to say this, Faith, about beauty. I'm glad we're talking about beauty and looks. And I'm glad you brought that up because I was going to mention a little something about it. One thing I always thought was an L for women to take, and I mean this in my real life. I've never done this in my real life. I have never seen a woman and hated on another woman. I have never seen a woman walk into a building and I go, look at her shoes, look at her hair. But I've had that happen to me more times than I can count. And that's a part of what I've been talking about a lot lately is just the hatefulness of women towards other women for absolutely no reason at all. And it really boils down to some women having really low self-esteem because there is no reason. There is no reason for you to attack a woman that you don't know, or even if you do know, that and she's looking good and feeling good about herself, and you feel like you got to pull her down because something's going on with you. And the
But
sad
there,
truth is,
but there's something that woman possesses that is triggering, and it intimidates the other woman. If you find yourself having those feelings towards the opposite sex, that's something that you need to work on within yourself. And see, that's the reason why I wanted to come out with my better class of women, because I kept maintaining. This is what I kept trying to tell everybody. I'm not talking about the way a woman dress. I'm not talking about any of that, even though that's part of it, but it's more of a mentality. It's a mindset. See, if we could just stop mean girl culture, because that's what you're talking about, that is a mean girl culture. There has to be a lot more done where we as grown men and women here do a little bit more to stop cyberbullying, of adults on other adults. Because what type of example are we sending to kids? We got people that watch these channels and they're developing and they see grown people acting like they act when they go to high school. They see grown women acting like mean girls towards other grown women. Oh, I look better than you. My ass fatter than yours. You know, who cares? There are women come in different shapes and sizes. That's the reason why they have different types of bras. They have the A cup, they have the B cup, C, D, F, and on. Because everybody ain't created the same. You're not all going to be the same. Every woman has her own brand of beauty, and everybody got something that they need to work on. So you're not helping the next woman by putting her down. And that's another thing that I have with a lot of these female content creators that are mean girls. Like Chantel, she talks a lot about health and fitness, but she loses her female audience because she's not really talking to the women. She's actually catering to the men by putting down the women who she deems to be overweight.
Faith, I want to say something about that because that's one of my pet peeves. So I just recently got my little certificate in as a fitness instructor, but I've been studying for a while, and I have a history and just health period. But anybody worth their salt who has actual training in health and fitness, you will never see a professional trainer put people down and say that they're helping them. Her doing memes of plus size women, making fun of them, that is not helping a damn soul except her own ego. And once again, where's her man? She can make fun all she wants to of these plus size women, but most of these plus size women probably, and I don't mean to make it about a man, but this is the thing. This is what you're saying you're trying to do. You're trying to help us out, right? But you can't even help yourself out. The fact of the matter is just because you're thin doesn't mean you're healthy. I've been screaming that to the mountaintops. Just because you're thin don't mean you healthy. There are thin people that can barely walk from their house to the goddamn mailbox without being out of breath. So that means
Actually,
nothing.
there are doctors that call it this is actually a medical term, and it has an acronym, but they're fat, they're thin on the outside, fat on the inside, and that
Yes,
is an actual condition.
yes, yes. They have as their LDL, they tend to have really high cholesterol, and it's because like my I call it fat skinny. My brother for many years was just naturally thin. He could eat whatever he wants. I was like that too for a while. Then it caught up with me. But basically, like he would eat burgers every day and French fries every day. But eventually, once that metabolism slowed, honey, he was fat skinny. We call it fat skinny. Um, so yeah, child, she's not trying to help nobody because if you're trying to help somebody, you would put something on paper, a plan, or post something, some actual information, like tips to lose weight and stuff like that. That's how you help people. You don't help people by posting memes, making fun of people because you think you all that and you really none of that, but you got them Negroes over there swelling your goddamn head up. That's what it is. They swelling her head up. She wouldn't last in a room with I know some women, like I said, that are bigger, and she wouldn't last a second in a room if you compared her little narrow ass to one of these juicy booty quiches that I know around the hood, honey. They would knock her ass over to get the juicy booty quiche. Like, stop it, girl. You know what I'm saying?
But that's just it. Women come in all different shapes and sizes as beautiful. Now, what I will say as far as health and fitness, because Black women, we do need to keep our eye on the ball when it comes to our health and fitness, because we are still number one when it comes to health issues involving our weight. That includes diabetes, heart attack, stroke, high blood pressure, all of that. So pay attention to your core. I cannot stress this enough. And you're a health instructor, so you should know that what I'm saying is true. Death starts in the gut, in the belly. If you start to get a gut, if you start to get a belly, and it usually what is accompanied with that gut and that belly is hips and thighs. Okay, I'm over here slapping man right now,
Don't do it, babe.
So I mean, it looks good, when you take your clothes off and it's jiggly, and my man like it, but it also accompanies, a little belly. Now I've gotten my belly down. I got some pictures. I'm gonna send it to you. I got my belly down 5 inches. Back in November, I looked a whole 6 months pregnant. Okay, when because my body makeup, I accumulate a lot of fat in my gut. So I have to go and I have to work out and I have to change my diet. And actually, the diet is 80% of it. You could actually lose belly fat and lose weight overall if you just eat healthy. And eating healthy doesn't mean not eating at all, because you have to eat to live. It just means that your 3 meals a day are going to have to consist of a diet that is good for your body. You have to ask yourself, what is this going to do for me? What is this going to do to me? And you have to know what your insulin resistance levels are, because as women, we are very hormonal. We have periods every month. Some of us are older. We're going through perimenopause. Some of us are going through menopause, and all those hormone changes affects us at our core, literally. So please, if anybody is listening, please take care of your gut. The gut, the gut, the gut. Forget the butt, the butt, the butt. The butt don't mean nothing if you 6 feet under or you on kidney dialysis. It's the gut, the gut, the gut. Get rid of it. I'm sorry, but I went on a little tangent.
No,
Go ahead.
make sure that, because I see my bubble bouncing. Make sure that I'm not echoing. I don't. I'm on my phone. I don't have anything else open. But I hope I'm not ruining your stream echoing. So I've been trying to mute. No, let me just say this. You're absolutely right. And me and you, honestly, it seems like we're going through the same thing. And you're right. There's basically 5 things that causes like a quote unquote big belly, and stress is one of them, hormonal, and of course, beer and alcohol stuff, digestive issues can cause it, but it's mostly stress and being insulin resistant. So if you could work, and for most of us women, that's what it is. Our hormones change. So that stress and, all right, sweet pea, and the insulin resistance is what it usually is for us. If you could work on that, honey, cut back on that sugar, anything white bread or white rice, anything white, to cut back on that, you're going to see a change.
Absolutely. I cut back on white sugar. As a matter of fact, I threw out all my white sugar and I replaced it with monk fruit, which is a kind of sugar. It's not actually sugar, but it tastes just like sugar, but it's from monk fruit, and it's a lot healthier. I threw out my white flour and I replaced it with coconut flour and almond flour. So there are alternatives. I have a dietitian that I work with, and my dietitian helps me choose the foods that are right for my body. And I have lost inches off my waist, no blood pressure problems. I was pre-diabetic. I'm not pre-diabetic anymore. So it's just all about changing what you put in your body. Food is medicine. So we have to, as Black women, not be so testy and sensitive when the subject of diet and exercise, but exercise is only 20% of it. You could actually do majority of it just by changing what you eat.
Oh no, we could all improve. I think what happens though is in particularly, and hey Auntie, I wasn't looking at the chat, but what's up to everybody? I think what happens though in these spaces, it just becomes black women, black women, black women. But the fact is, all of the world is becoming overweight. Even Asia is having an issue now where they never had any before, due to the processed food being now becoming popular over there where it wasn't 20 years ago. And they're starting to add all these sugars. Certain parts of Europe will not do the corn syrup, and certain parts of South America, they're not doing corn syrup. And that corn syrup is something serious. So if you drink soda, please stop it right now. Yeah, that was another thing that helped me lose weight. Me and Auntie, I'm gonna say shout out to Auntie. We was on the brother fourth quarter talk show. We did a health show, and Auntie was over there mentioning soda and how he doesn't drink soda. And I was still at that time drinking soda. And after that show, I was like, you know what? I'm going to stop. And I immediately started losing a little bit of weight. So yeah, corn syrup is another demon, and they put it in everything. It's in condiments, it's in ketchup, it's in salad dressings. So if you can learn, I'm gonna try and be short, but if you can learn to make, I make a lot of my own condiments now. I make my own ranch. I buy the season. I use low fat yogurt, and it tastes just as good. If you could start making some of your own condiments, sugar free ketchup and stuff like that, you'll be leaps and bounds ahead of the game.
You know what? You're right. And also, you can make your own cold cuts at home too. That right there will change the game. If you can just cut out the processed lunch meat, the deli, even the meat that you buy at the deli is not good for you. It's processed. It contains chemicals that have been linked to cancer. All of the packaged meat contains chemicals that have been linked to cancer. The only meats that don't is the meat that you buy that is unprocessed, like your chicken, your roast, meats that have not been already cooked or smoked, or as they say, cured. Even if it says uncured on the package, they're lying. They still put preservatives in there to preserve that meat so that it has a longer shelf life. So, one thing that I invested in getting a meat pressure cooker and a food processor. And I cut up my chicken, I cut up my turkey, I put it in the food processor, and I put it in the meat presser, and I boil it until it gets to 150 degrees. I sit in the freezer overnight for about 10 hours. And then I have a meat slicer. And right there, when I take it out, it's a nice round loaf, and I've made my own cold cuts at home. So I get that meat slicer, slice it right on up.
That's good. That's what I was gonna say. You could do that. Go to the deli too. They'll cut your meat for you. So yeah, great advice, Faith. We got to do a health show together. I've been telling you we got to do a health show.
Well, you know what? I'm so new to it. I just found out how to do my own cold cuts just not too long ago. So I'm still new to the game.
Last time we talked, I was telling you about my little garden. I finally started my little garden a month ago, and I'm really excited about it, watching it grow. Get into that too, honey. The reason I'm gonna be honest, there's several reasons I started it, because a friend of mine suggested it, and he was dealing with a health crisis, but also to save money because everything's so expensive, and I was starting to throw away, like the food goes bad super fast in the supermarket. So I just wanted to save money, and I said, okay, I could grow my own stuff, and so that's what motivated me.
Yeah, but I didn't want to segue away from the main topic. We got all into the health stuff, but yeah, Chantel, like just like you and I had this candid and open conversation to Black women about health, food, fitness. Like this is what I want to hear more of from Chantel. I don't hear her talking about what type of food you should eat. She's just putting you down just for even being big in the first place and calling you lazy. And see, I have a problem with that because I had, when you get older, when I got into like maybe 35, I started holding on to some weight that I just could not get rid of. And I couldn't for the life of me understand what was happening. And it was because years and years of having a bad diet. And I'm not necessarily eating fast food because I'm like Auntie, I don't drink soda. There's certain food I don't eat, but I didn't know that regular lunch meat, had all this chemical in it, and that it was packed with bad carbohydrates. And so when you get older, if you've been eating that stuff for years and years, thinking that, oh, I'm gonna get the packaged turkey, you thinking you doing good buying turkey, but it's that processed turkey. So over the years, that stuff takes a toll. So when you hit 35 and you're wondering, how come I got this extra 10 pounds? It ain't going nowhere, And then you get older, you hit 40. Now I got another 10 pounds. What the hell, And it's because of your diet. But we don't get that information. And so Chantel will sit up here and she will degrade Black women, but you're not educating. Degrading is not educating. And that's part of the mean girl culture that needs to die. If she's ugly, tell her what she can do to make herself look better. But see, they're not going to do that because the intention is to put the person down because you're catering to that black male audience. You're not
Right.
talking to women.
Yeah, Faith, she's never gonna. Well, I won't say she never. You never know. People do have a change of heart. Maybe she'll get her upcomings. But she's not interested. I've like I said, I've listened to her. I've tried to stomach her, and she's not interested. And like you said, I was waiting for her to actually give some real advice. What do you eat to stay thin? Post you at the gym. Post some of the exercises that you recommend to tighten up and stuff like that. But she won't because chances are she's not doing none of that. She's just able to talk her crap because she happens to be small right now at the young age of what, 30? Girl, give it a couple years, boo. Give it a couple of years, like you just said, Faith, honey. Because when I hit 40, it was a whole different song, honey. So yeah, that's why I sit back and smile because I'm like, talk that smack, girl. Give it a few years. I bet you won't be looking like Faith or Mahogany. I bet you won't.
Honey, and if you think that exercise alone is going to stop that waistline from expanding, if you're eating Burger King and McDonald's every day, and because you were younger, your metabolism was fast. But as you age, your metabolism slow down. And see, that will be the telling. Because I'm starting to see a lot of the female content creators, the ones that do cam up, I'm starting to see their faces getting rounder. And so I've been noticing, yeah, that age is starting to catch up with y'all. That McDonald's, that eating out at them expensive restaurants is starting to catch up with you. And you definitely got to kind of check it. Just keep it in check. That's
Well,
all I'm saying.
that's my issue too with the message of the fit friendly and feminine thing is you're talking about strictly aesthetics, and when that leaves, and guess what, we all age and we all things change, and when that leaves, what else do you have to give? What else are you telling these women to sharpen up on, if you're really telling them anything at all, because you're not. But what else do you have? My mother to uh taught me how to be a woman. But one thing she never made a priority for me is to be consumed with the way I look and how much I weigh. Because at the end of the day, if somebody's going to love you, and I mean truly love you down, which is what these women don't know nothing about, that's why they're lonely and single. If somebody's going to really love you down, they're going to love you through thick, literally through thick and thin. Because life will hand you things, honey. I got in a car accident and gained a ton of weight. If my man was a vain man, he could have up and had a problem with it, but he didn't. So you gotta be able to offer something else besides your body to a man. Have some sense in your head. How about that? Have a
Yes,
backbone and have a spine.
yes, yes. Preach on it, sis. Preach on it.
Yeah.
And I'll also add this as far as when you said your mom taught you how to be a woman, that's very important because I hear a lot of these women also in the manosphere, they were talking about how they want to be a kept woman who stays at home and just takes care of the children and the man. And they want a man of high value that will put them in position to do this. Um, from a woman that used to be a stay-at-home mom for her kids, being a true stay-at-home mom is work. And that's for those who take it seriously. Now, I was taught by my mother, and there was a older lady because my husband he was he had his own business, and he put us in a house far away from my mom. And there was this lady that would come through, and she would help me sometimes with the kids and his aunt. I learned from older women. Now, his aunt taught me a lot too. I'm going to talk about my husband's aunt because she came and stayed with me for a whole year. And she used to tell me, Faith, you have got to get your children on a schedule, because I was running around Mahogany at first, and I had stair step children. My kids were stair steps. And so they would run all around the house, and I would be trying to be in the kitchen doing one thing, getting one child dressed, and the rest of the kids would be tearing up everything. And so she came and she had to help me. She said, okay, she was like, you're going to have to section this thing out. She said, you're going to have to pick a spot where your kids can play, and then you branch that off for them. And that's where they play, and they make majority of their mess, because kids are going to make a mess because they're children. And that's what she told me. She said, you're not going to be void of cleaning up a mess, but at least try to centralize it to one spot. So this will be the play area. And she said, now, when you're doing this, they will be in the play area safe and in that spot, and they're going to tear that area up. And then when you get everybody dressed, they can help you. She was like, have your children help you, teach them the cleanup song. We used to do the cleanup song and everything like that. And she was like, now you got to take the kids and get out of the house. She said, because you can't have the kids in the house all day. That's the reason why you will see these white women that will be pushing their kids in a stroller, and they have their kids, the larger kids, running behind them, because they're getting the kids out of the house so the kids do not mess up the house. And this is a stay-at-home mom's job. So you're getting them out of the house, and not only is it important for you to get them out of the house, but they're getting exercise, they're being exposed to the different elements. Even when the seasons change, you got to take those kids out of the house, take them to the playground. And if it gets too hot or too cold, there are even places that you could take your kids that have indoor playground activities, but you got to get your kids out of the house. So, you know, being a stay-at-home mom isn't just you sitting at home all day on YouTube, okay, turning on the camera and showing your ass. You know, none of that. Not you in the DMs, DMing people, but you're actually a homemaker. That is a full-time job. And I don't think that any manosphere talking point, or even having women in the manosphere, you don't even have women talking about what being a stay-at-home mom really means, what your job actually entails. They don't talk about that. But I'm sorry, go ahead on Mahogany.
I muted because I feel like I'm echoing. I was about to get on my laptop but basically, Faith, I agree. And they don't know what they're asking for. I don't think, first of all, economically, with everything being as high as it is, I don't know how many women can afford to do that. Nowadays, I really don't. And it would be nice if that's what you want. I've done it. I've done it before too, Faith, and it is hard. It's the hardest job out there. And I only had one. I couldn't imagine have 3 little ones like you did. But it was hard, and 4, and it was the older women. Like it says in the Bible, that should teach the younger women. But what you have now is a bunch of men trying to teach women, and then you got men teaching women, and these silly women that don't know what they're talking about teaching other women. That's what you got in this space. But basically, it's the older women that everything that I learned about being a mother came from my grandmother and my mother. I'll never forget. I was running around there going crazy because my husband, and he said it very nicely and kindly. But he was like, you know, I've been working, and I come home and the house is a mess. Now I had a brand new baby, and you know, I had promised him. I said, well, I'm going to clean it up. But every time I looked, my son was just crying and crying and crying every time I put him down. So he was a hand baby. And I called my grandmother, I'll never forget. And I was like, I don't know what to do. He won't stop crying. And she said, well, did you check his temperature? I said, yes. She said, well, did you change his diaper? I said, yes. She said, and nothing's wrong. Does he have a bellyache? Did you feed him? Did you burp him? I said, yes. She said, well, child, put that baby down and just let him cry. He gonna be all right. And at first I was like, what? He won't stop. She said, let him cry. After about 10 minutes, because I literally had never let him do that. As a new mother, I thought that was the worst thing ever, is just let my baby cry. But after 10 minutes, he was fine. And don't you know, from that day on, that's what I would do. And he would be just fine. And it got to the point like, okay, mommy's coming back in the room now. I'm good. You know, so we have to take lessons from women who know what they're talking about.
But
Yeah,
that's the reason why, these men that are in these minister spaces wanting wives, they need to actually get women who are actually the wives that they're talking about, not no 26-year-old with no experience. Pearly Things cannot tell a woman who wants to be a stay-at-home mom, and for the first time she had her first baby, she cannot tell that woman how to deal with a colicky baby. I can, but Pearly Things can't. Pearly Things cannot tell you how to budget for a household if your husband is the sole breadwinner. And the way that my husband did, he gave me I got a payment. I got an allowance, and then I also got an allowance to take care of the house. And my job was to take care of things for the house. So if there were discrepancies in what was in the house, then that means that I was falling short on my end of the budget. And see, these are things that they're not talking about in the manosphere. They're not talking about how the husband and the wife are partners and they actually work hand in hand, regardless to who's working and who's not working. They don't talk about stuff like that. Instead, they make it seem like it's going to be nothing but submission and sex
in their fantasies.
and you going shopping.
That's their fantasy. And like I said, they're not even thinking about. We've talked about this over in your channel before, Faith, about them wanting a younger woman and what's that's really like. Because my first husband was way older than me, and I'll be the first to tell you, I made that man's life hell, honey. I was out partying like a 27-year-old would. And we're good now, but I made his life hell. I'll be the first to tell you. And so they're living in a fantasy. Something else about the stay-at-home wife. Like I said, most of them can't afford what that really means, because not only do you have to take care of your baby, you have to take care of that woman. And what that means is making sure that she's covered if she needs to go to the doctor, that you have insurance, making sure that you have a life insurance policy, making sure that you have her covered in every which way, so her car is insured just like yours is, that she has uh dental coverage, everything. She needs an eye exam once a year. You need to pay for that. It's not just laying up with a woman, having sex with her. No, you got to take care of her because she's dependent on you. And they're not thinking about that.
No, they're thinking about all the sex and all the submission. Just like I met a guy, he was a Hebrew Israelite. And I think I told this story before. But I used to drive trucks. And every time I would see him pull into the truck yard, we would park our cars and we would go and get our assigned trucks. And he would come in and he have a nice car, really nice, sporty looking car, clean, be all, shined up and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so one day, I think his car had to go into the shop. And so he came to work in the most raggediest Scooby-Doo van I ever seen in my life. And I was like, what the hell? So I never said anything. He was like, oh, my car in the shop. Well, one day my truck, I ran out of hours. And in the trucking industry, you only get 11 hours to drive. And something happened where I got laid over at one of the stops that we were making. So I couldn't make the rest of the delivery. He had to come and rescue that delivery so that it could keep moving and I can go home and I can get off the clock. So he came in that Scooby-Doo van, that broke down, raggedy Scooby-Doo van. And I had to drive that back to the yard. When I tell you it was 110 degrees in Phoenix, and this nigga didn't have air conditioning in this van.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to drive about 60 miles. That's a little over an hour and no air conditioning.
Ooh.
Then, there was this little road that we used to drive on, and it was kind of bumpy. And every time I hit a bump, there was a spring that was coming out the seat, poking me in my behind.
Oh no.
I was like, what the hell? And come to find out, that was his wife's van That's the car he got for his wife.
Wow. Yep. Then child, I could tell you some horror stories about some of them, child. I really could. They so bad they made me want to get out the face. But I do know good Hebrew Israelites, but some of them are bad. We call them hobo Israelites. There's a lot of them, and the way they get these women is they talk that scripture, and that's why I'm always telling women, learn scripture for yourself. You don't have to submit to some man that's not submitting to the Most High. He putting his hands on you. He don't know nothing about the Most High. The Most High says that a man should love his wife like he loved himself. So if he's beating up on you, he beating up on himself. That man is not of the Most High. But a lot of women, they get a man and they check their brain at the door. And, that's something that my grandmother always said. Don't check your brain at the door.
Yeah, and you should want your wife to be a reflection of you in everything.
Right.
So if you riding around in a sports car and your stuff looks good and it looks clean, and she got the Scooby Doo van with no air conditioning and the springs sticking out the seat, something wrong.
Child, it's sad. And it's sad that a woman would tolerate that. Like, I hope my thing isn't about to hit. Oh, girl, let me plug up my laptop. Go ahead, Faith.
All right. Well, let me go ahead and see what some of the people have been saying down here in the chat room. Let's see here. Oh, Demetrius says, I want to be a dad so bad, but I'm trying to set up my life first. And there's nothing wrong with that. Now, see, that's a man mindset. You're not thinking from a position of being a boy. You know that it costs money to have a family, so preparation is needed. And that is another thing, like these men need to teach more of delayed gratification.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I don't hear that being preached very much at all. All I hear is, well, the single mothers is for having sex with and practicing on.
Oh man.
Yeah, but
horrible.
some of these women, that's the reason why they single mothers, because y'all practicing. By the way, so it's just a lot of not teaching delayed gratification, not teaching actual how can I say, not promoting fatherhood and being a husband. I don't see a lot of promotion of fatherhood and being a husband, but I see a lot of promotion of you guys acting like you want wives, but not preaching about being a husband and what it entails to be a good husband. Now we hear enough about what it entails to be a good wife, but in a manosphere where you're supposed to be talking to other men, how come we're not hearing about what it takes for you to be a good husband to your wife? I don't hear none of that. You guys are not talking about that, and you're not promoting it either. And this is how I know it's all a big farce. And the women in these spaces need to be calling that out. But I'm sorry, go ahead, Mahogany.
No, you're fine. I'm just thinking about what you're saying because a lot of that's true. And I've tried to, when we do try and call things out, like Faith, we get dragged and attacked sometimes by the men, sometimes by the women. I've gotten attacked by women that I thought were for me. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you definitely have to be strong to be a woman here, and you definitely have to be able to stand on your own. No matter what you do, speak the truth as you know it. Yeah, that's all I have to say really about any of this.
Well, I have been on here. It look like I'm going on 4 hours. Look like I'm going back to my old days. Every time I open up the panel, I be up here damn near 5 hours.
But you know what, Faith? I was going to tell you, this is it's just like good girlfriends on the phone, honey. Me and you know how we get down. This is just good old girlfriends having a conversation in front of everybody, so they could see how our dynamic. I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I always feel comfortable with you and
Me too.
talking with you, and you make damn good points. I mean, and also, guys, everybody should know about Mahogany's channel. Please check her out, and make sure you guys are hitting the like button on my channel too.
Yes.
I need all the help I can get. So y'all share my stuff out, okay? Share it out, please.
Yes. You have to tell them now to hit the like, Faith, because they don't show the likes anymore. So make sure you like the videos, y'all.
Yeah, because I went to YouTube University because I got in trouble. I, got a strike.
Oh
So,
man.
so the only way I could get it off was I had to go to YouTube University. And kind of find out hitting the like actually forces the algorithm to boost,
Views.
the views. Exactly, it pushes the views out. So when you
Information man, he said that on his show.
So if you hit that like button, that forces the algorithm to do what YouTube won't do for a lot of us, and that is it pushes the channel to the top. So, that's the reason why if you come in, hit the like button, especially if you are riding for that content creator. But at any rate, I'm going to get up out of here. Any final thoughts, Mahogany?
No, I just enjoy you as I just, I adore you. I enjoy you in your outspokenness. I love it. It's what I love about you. No, this was a great show because I feel like we have a lot in common. I've always told you that. I feel like it was a great show and I got to say some things I've been wanting to say forever, especially about those two particular ladies. So no, it was a really good show. I actually might go back and watch a little bit that I missed earlier. Yeah, I enjoyed it, and I hope you come back on here soon. We miss you.
Oh, well, thank you. I miss you guys too. Well,
Okay.
I don't have anything else to say in closing. I think I'm just going to say that the situation with Pearly Things making you guys look crazy and go crazy and the infighting in the black sector, okay, that needed to happen actually. I'm not even mad that it's happening. As a matter of fact, I believe the chickens have come home to roost. I believe that there's a wake up call for certain people, especially Black women who have been in the Black male manosphere sector. This is definitely a wake up call. I think you all know that already. I really don't need to say it. I like a lot of you. I like a lot of y'all content, but I don't like when y'all look the other way when they over here doing certain things. And if I see it, like I said earlier, if I see it, if I hear it, I know you seeing and hearing it too. I know you are. And you're more in the sector than I am. So I know you're seeing and hearing these things. So I need to see and hear you speaking out on these things. Now there are going to be certain ones that who have accepted their role as being last, Crimson Cure. And for those, I don't know if there's any help because I think they're mentally a little bit too far gone. And for men who want to sit up here and drag women about their past, but they sit up here and defend whole pedophiles in the present, oh well. Oh wellsy wells. One of these things is not like the other. Someone being a present asshole is not the same as someone being a past asshole who is reformed. That's all I got to say about that. But in closing, I just want to say thank you for each and every one of you that came in and watched today. And with that, I got to give my signature peace. I'm out. Love you. Holla.